Welcome to the Bass and Brews podcast, your weekly distraction from other high-quality podcasts. And now, your host, Alex from Swamp Rat Fishing, and the co-hostess with the mostest, the Jabberhammer, Paul Roberts.
Hey-o! Welcome back. Another Bass and Brews podcast here. We are your weekly distraction from quality podcast content. The only reason anybody listens is because we actually bring on people that they want to listen to. That's why Alex aren't on here by ourselves anymore, because we're just two idiots that nobody wants to listen to. That includes me and him. Alex is not here. He sent me a message. I think he's got like 17 more days and he's back. Thank goodness. That way the Tiki-Tac will have some more content coming out and all these other things that he does. He'll be back to handle that side of the business, and I can sit back and be pretty and do my little thing. But tonight we have two special guests. One is returning as a host, and the other one is the Commish, Mr. Vinny. What's up, dude? How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm chilling, man. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
The excitement is oozing out of your ears and eyes and everything else.
I'm letting the coffee do its thing, and in a few minutes it'll be in the bloodstream, and we'll be good to go.
There we go. And then you won't be able to go to bed till 2 o'clock in the morning. I love it.
That's a little of what I'm afraid of with these 8 o'clock podcasts, but that's all right. We'll figure it out.
Well, hey man, we could have started earlier, but you had ball practice.
Yeah, man, I'm coaching football now. I coach little kid football on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't even know what day it is. Yes, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm at softball Mondays and Wednesdays, and I drop little one off at Taekwondo on Fridays. So I stay pretty busy on top of the real job.
There you go. You got about 18 side jobs. Tonight, co-hosting, we have Hook Sets with Wifey, a.k.a. Tori. How you, Tori?
Squirrel with wine, but it's cider tonight. So I had to be here since Alex is still gone. We needed somebody that was short and can fish better than Paul. So since Alex couldn't fill those shoes tonight, I am here.
Well, just glad she said better than you and me.
Yeah, well, that's the truth. And her voice is just as annoying as his.
So he's like the swamp rat, and I would be like the wine squirrel.
Okay, the wine squirrel. More like the nutria rat.
But I'm excited to have Commish. I'm not going to call you that again. I don't like calling you that. Vinny to be on. I feel like Vinny is probably somebody who's been mentioned more on this show than any other like celebrity or content creator. Like,
is that a good thing?
Well, I am the self-proclaimed Bass and Brews historian, so I've listened a lot. And your name, your style, your perseverance, and even your hair have come up multiple times on this podcast.
Well, I mean, the hair, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the style you're referring to some legging conversations. And my perseverance, I don't know. That could be a lot of things, but I guess I can let you open up that can of worms here in a minute.
Well, our can of worms here are big. They're very large. They're like that can of beans from what the hell was that movie? Damn it, I just lost it in my head right now. Anyway, no, I'll come back to it later. I remember it, and probably about the end of the podcast, in the middle of Tori's questions, I'm going to interrupt her uneloquently to say it. Dennis the Menace, the real Dennis the Menace that came out in the 90s when he was in the camp. The guy was eating big old cans of beans. There we go. I knew it would come back up at a good time. Well, look, Vinny, we got you on here for quite a few different reasons. But one of them, tell us how you got to where you are right now, sitting in front of us on a podcast at 8:07 on a Tuesday in the year of our Lord 2022. What's the story? Man. What is the history?
I've given this story before. It's nothing too crazy. We started Queen City. I started Queen City about 8 full years ago at this point. I was fishing some series here in the Carolinas that really just didn't fit my my personality, my style, my region of where I lived. And I looked at my wife and I was like, I think it's time we start something here in Charlotte. And we literally sat down at a Bojangles one night. It was right up there in Indiana on 521. And I was like, I'm going to start a little something. It won't be anything crazy. Just be a couple guys fishing for money locally. And, God, 8 years later, I'm on a podcast with you two fools. And we are, expanding into year 9. And my name somehow has spread across the nation as a director. So it started as wanting to fish home, and it turned into I don't even get to fish anymore. But it's been a fun journey. So it's been fun.
Well, back up a little bit. What is the fishing story? What got you into it, and how did you get into the kayak competition side?
So I grew up fishing in New York and New Jersey in the saltwater. I grew up catching bluefish, flounder, sea bass, black bass, everything that we would catch up north in the ocean. And then after college, we moved down here, and I had never really bass fished ever. Maybe when I was a kid with a bobber and minnows, but never for real bass fished. And when you come to move to Charlotte, you don't have saltwater. So you learn, if you're somebody like me and you just love to fish, you figure out how to bass fish. So the apartment complex we moved into, we were 22 years old, had a pond, and we went out there with a pink knockoff Senko back in the day, and Mary caught a bass on a little gold hook, and we were like, oh, look at this. This could be fun. And, I just started to fish some apartment complex ponds, neighborhood ponds. I started trespassing golf courses. A couple guys along the way told me, hey, you got to throw a Wacky Rig. This is how you throw a Wacky Rig. Learned how to throw a couple different baits. And then one of my coworkers, he was the music/chorus teacher, Daniel Weinkoop at Martin Luther King Middle School, was like, have you ever kayaked? Now, you got to understand, I'm fresh out of New York. I've been down here even a couple years. I had not been redneck yet. And he was like, you got to go in a kayak. I said, what the hell did you just say to me? Go in a kayak. I had never been in a kayak. I'm 25 years old, right? A PE teacher. And he's like, man, let's go kayak fishing. So in my head, I'm thinking like 2 adult dudes in a kayak. Like, right? So
Dumb and Dumber on the water.
Right? So I show up, and what the hell was it? 2 adult dudes in a kayak doing this. And I was like, oh my God, we were in a tandem. And I caught a fish that night, and he caught some fish that night. And I was like, man, this is pretty cool. And he let me borrow one of his. We went to the river on Lake Wiley, which is known as like Bobby's now, and Dale's. And then it was April before my daughter was born. So about almost 11 years ago. And I went to Dick's, and I bought like a $250 sit-in 10.5-foot kayak. I put a fish finder on it, and I went out, and I was fishing Lake Wiley, and I didn't know what I was doing. It was like, Google, what do you throw in October? A 10-inch worm? Oh, sure. So, I didn't have a clue, and fished for a few months, and I jumped in my first tournament. Like it had to be like the second weekend I was in a kayak, and it was with a crew here in Charlotte, small little tournament. And from there on, I don't think I ever stopped. I mean, I got my teeth kicked in for years before I cut a check or before I got a big win. And I'm just a competitor by nature. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I need to compete. It does not matter. And that is kind of how we got where we are, because if I'm going to direct, I want to be the best director, right? So that part of my personality that I can't really control is really why I'm sitting here with you tonight. But that's how it all started. And when I go into something, I like to be good at it, and I want to learn. So I just kept fishing, kept learning and growing tactics and lures and baits and colors. And I've done okay over the years. So
you got a nice check sitting
right
behind you that we can see.
Yeah, I was about to say he's done okay over the years. Hobie, BOS, 10th place. Right where we can see it. You've done okay. Just okay. Just okay.
That was a hell of a comeback, though.
Yeah, that right there, the one you can actually see is that was something right there. But that was never give up is what that was. Because I should have tucked my tail and went home Saturday night.
There's that perseverance.
Yeah. That was a good friend saying, yo, dude, let's just go fishing. And I showed up, and it feels good when like 10, 11 years of on the water experience just comes into play, and not only comes into play, but it works. And I was like, Matt, I'm sure people have heard the story, but I was like, Matt, did you guys fish here yesterday? And he's like, no, why? I was like, you went past this right here. This thing, you went past this yesterday? And he's like, yeah, dude, we didn't fish it. Why? And I threw my jackhammer in there and I stuck a 21. And I was like, that's why. And I threw the jackhammer in there again and I stuck another 20. And I was like, dude, you're out of your mind. And I did it again. And I had 63 inches in 3 casts. And he was like, I guess we're fishing here. And, long story short, I think I caught 12, 20 inches that day without moving. And he had a handful of 20s. I brought another buddy, Skip. He had a 21. So it was just insane. And that's what that is right there. But there's a little one over there you can't see. And that was my 7th place last year at Hartwell. And that one, that wasn't perseverance. That was hard work. I hit like 14 different ramps or something crazy. And I got on something and stuck with it. And I finished 7th out of, I don't know, Tori, what was it? Like 160 people on Hartwell, I think.
I didn't fish then.
Yeah, so.
But it had to be, if it was that one a Hobie one too?
Yeah.
So it had to be at least like 160.
Yeah, I think
was
it was
just
150.
A wife watching back then.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, the national series, the national stuff is amazing. I love it. Feeds the competition, but it's hard. It's real hard. And I'm still waiting for that big national win. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but
it will happen for you. You got the perseverance in the drive.
Next month in November.
There you go. That'd be a good time for it to happen.
That would be a good time for it to happen.
We believe
it would. Yeah, it would.
Thanks, guys. but yeah, so I got a lot of wins and a lot of cashes, but I want that big one.
Yeah. And you are the Commish, and I will call you the Commish. I'm gonna put the D in front of it. This is Facebook circa 2006. The Commish of Queen City Kayak Bass Fishing, usually referred to as QCKBF or just QC. Most of the folks know about it. You've already told the story about starting at Bojangles, and it's just a few guys getting together to fish for money. Today, how many few anglers, women and men, are fishing for money in your tournaments on average?
At this exact conversation on November 4th, I believe the average is 130.3 is, I think, what we're
October 4th. I have not rated my kids' Halloween candy yet. You're a month ahead.
Did I say? Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. I told you I'm tired. It's late. Yeah, so October.
How much was it?
I think we're at 130.3 right now, and that was with a very small showing at Murray. I don't know if it was the weather, the time of year. I don't know. I don't look for excuses. Yeah. We had 76 people. It was a small event. It took our average down a couple guys. I'm curious to see what we end up with at our next event, but I think we'll end the year we'll just call it 125. I think we'll end the year at. So yeah, so just still a small group fishing for a little bit of money.
And for folks that don't know, this is a quote unquote local club. This is not regional or national. This is based out of the Charlotte area, North Carolina. One thing that I probably think that helps, and we can talk about that at some point in this conversation, is where it is centrally located in the Carolinas. You can tap into a lot of different areas where a bunch of folks fish. And not only that, you're within reasonable driving distance, some really, really good bodies of water, large and small.
Yeah. So when we started, the whole theory, it's hysterical actually, because the theory was I didn't want to drive anywhere. I was driving 2 hours per tournament and I was over it. And I was like, I want to fish home. We have good water home. So when we started, it was home. It was Norman, Wiley, Mountain Island. Man, I think a big travel event back then was Baden Lake, which is like 75, 80 minutes for people, right? And then we just continually kept growing and growing and growing. And before you know it, you can't fit 60, 70 people on Mountain Island and enjoy your experience, right? No offense to anyone, but I don't want to see you when I'm tournament fishing on my dock or my point or where I'm going. And it's like, well, he already hit this whole bank, right? So it was like, wow, well, we have to move out a little bit. And then we started moving out a little bit. And guys were like, well, why aren't we going to Santee? And I'm like, dude, Santee's like 3 hours away. Like, we started this to be here and you want to go there? And then it got to the point where it was like, well, we have to go there. We have to go to Santee. We're Queen City. So we went to Santee. And now you take what's happening next week well, why aren't we going to Raleigh? They have one of the best lakes in it. Okay, so we're going to Raleigh. So it's 3 hours the other way. And it went from here to boom. And then next year it's even bigger. And we just keep expanding throughout the Carolinas. We are what you said, considered grassroots. I don't really know what the definition is to get to that next level. I guess we have to leave the Carolinas. We are a 2-state club. So I don't know if we have to expand even further to get a regional title. I don't know. But, I've moved slow on purpose over the last 8 years. I've never – right, I could have probably done this expansion on a smaller level 3-4 years ago. But I've never wanted to move too quick and trip and stumble. So I've gone slow on purpose. I've grown slow on purpose. And this move of what we're doing next year in my little household, it's a big move, and it's a lot of time. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of potential things could go wrong. And so we're excited about it. But yeah, we are still Carolina based. So
on Sunday, you dropped the 2023 schedule for Queen City. And it was the big to do. You had a lot of people on the platforms watching live.
We've been watching for months.
Did I do a good job at keeping you guys on your toes, though?
Yes.
I think I did.
I think there was like a countdown, it was like an advent calendar going down to drop off.
He shipped out little candy calendars that you unwrap a piece of chocolate and eat it every night, waiting, and then
we got a biz day every day leading up to the drop.
Oh shit! I should have been on that. The hell, y'all forgot about me on some biz baits. You dropped the schedule. You had a lot of people interested, and it was a big deal because of some of the expansion you're talking about now. So talk about your schedule going into 2023, and I know you and Tori have a few things that you want to dive into on that. And and y'all mentioned it earlier, and that's awesome because one of the things y'all are going to talk about is one of the reasons why I live in the Raleigh area. One of the reasons why we have a couple clubs here, but something Tori said is one of the reasons why I'm excited that where I am, we have these tournaments here. So go ahead and talk about your tournament schedule, and you and Tori can dive into some of y'all's little tidbits.
So I just mentioned how it started local and then it expanded, and then I got some feedback, maybe of the negative kind, that we were driving too much and we were traveling too much. And my response is, this is what the guys are asking for. If I ask you where you want to go and 70 people say Santee, what am I supposed to do? Say no. Mm-hmm. So we went further, and I gave you Raleigh, and I gave you Santee, and I gave you Murray, and all these really, really big names. But what it turned into was you probably had to leave Friday, stay over somewhere and fish, and then go home, which is time and money and return on investment and all that. And I get all that. So I tried to accept some of the feedback, but still didn't want to crush what we are. We still have to fish those big bodies. So I took the main series and I kind of centralized it around Charlotte again. So we're going to hit Lake Norman twice, the Yadkin Chains twice. That's 4. We have 2 clashes. So that's 6 events where you really don't have to leave right here. And then we are, and I know, some people are going to be extremely excited about that. And then you got some people who are going to fish all 18 events. And we'll touch on that here in a minute too. So we have 6 without you really even having to leave the area. And then you got your amazing Hartwell, Murray, Santee tours that you have to do. And then we have one that is literally going to be massive amount of water, like both sets of Carolinas, and that's the Native No Limit event. So technically 7 times you don't have to leave Charlotte. And for people like Tori who seem excited about that, that's good. But what I didn't want to do was now force people outside of this area to come here 10 times a year. So I added 2 divisions. So we have amazing support, and I got to give some shout outs if I'm going to start talking about this stuff. So Big Adventures and Native Watercraft, they are tremendous in the world of Queen City. And I had one conversation with Big Adventures and Tyler, and he was like, dude, I'm in, let's do it. So we're going to expand west, and we're going to give. There is a population of Western Carolina anglers that we never see. And then there's a population of Western Carolina anglers who come to everything, but they're driving 3 hours every month.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some amazing, beautiful fisheries in the mountains that guys will use as like vacation spots that we're now going to have events on. He's double fisting the one beer. So
when Tori's on, we have to do that.
We
coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. When the Nutria Rat is subbing for the Swamp Rat, we have to follow along.
So we went west. We're going to give a group of anglers that way an opportunity at a minimum to have 4 what we'll call home events. And if those anglers care about chasing the TOC, all roads lead to the TOC, then they'll come fish for Charlotte-based events as well. And then we did the same thing south. Now the south, this division is, if I lived any further south, and I was an angler, I'd be jacked up. I mean, the South Division is Hartwell, Murray, Santee, and then open water. That schedule is fire. Yeah, I must say so. The guy who made it's a genius. So,
no.
And then those guys, right? So those guys in the South have 6 events right around them that they're going to get to fish. They're going to get Santee twice, Murray twice, Hartwell twice, and then they can have Watery in the Clash. So they never have to leave their circle unless they choose to leave their circle and chase the TOC. All roads lead to the TOC. So I keep saying that because to qualify, you have to fish your divisional series and 4 of the main trail events.
So you have to fish all 6 in your division and then 4
in your division. Well, we'll count your top 3. So technically 3 out of 4 in your division and then 4 out of 10 in the main. Mm. So I think I limited travel for people who are concerned about travel. Mm-hmm. And then the other side of that fence is I gave people who don't care about travel 8 more events to go win a minimum of $1,000. So I'm excited for it. And I guess the only way we'll know if it all works out is February 18th when we go to Kiwi to open.
Well, dude, 18 damn tournaments in one season on one trail is that's crazy. And you have guaranteed payouts at every event, right?
Yeah. So the 5 main events. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. The 5 main trail single lake events are going to be $2,000 guarantees. Second place in those events will be $1,000 guarantees. The other 5 multi-lake events in the main series will be a $1,500 guarantee with a $1,000 guarantee for second as well. And then all 8 divisional events will be a $1,000 guarantee minimum. I'm going to be honest. I think the South Division is going to smash that $1,000 number. I think they're going to be 70, 80 people deep. And I think they're going to be paying $1,500, $1,700. So, yeah. You tell me I have nothing to do and I can go fish Santee for a couple grand. I'm going. That's me, but I'm going. Yeah. I'm going.
And there's a large contingent of folks down in that area, South Carolina, because I spent 10 years in the North Augusta, Aiken area. And so there used to be a small club in that area. I didn't kayak fish at that time. But since I've been into the kayak side and doing this podcast, there's a big contingent of folks on there that have been looking for something consistent and competitive fishing.
Yep. So there was a smaller series in Southern South Carolina that folded up or will be folding up going into 2023. The director has stuff that he'd like to do as an angler. And, running a series is not easy. As I started off saying, I hardly get to fish anymore. But, that's part of it. And I'm okay with it at this stage of my life. That director wants to go fish. So he's going to close down his series, but was really, really easy to work with and allowed me to promote what was coming on his page. And, the Palmetto anglers are great anglers. They are anglers who have traveled up to the trail events that continue to travel to the trail events, and I know will fish the Southern Division. So I'm giving them hopefully something they were looking for with guaranteed money and, extreme organization and a solid foundation. I'd like to think we have a solid foundation and our name carries some weight. And, I hope they're excited for it. I know I will get some blowback on the motor thing. The club that closed down was a motor club. We are going to remain a manpower club. That's stuff that I deal with. People always have opinions, right? They're like buttholes. Am I allowed to say that? Is that against the rules?
It is.
But assholes would be a better term.
And everybody has one. So, but we'll see. Guys, again, you got the people who are really quick to hit the like button and the hearts and even the angry faces. And then you got the people who don't say a word. So you just never kind of know, are they even going to come? And then we have 90 people at an event. So I don't know. I never know. Nobody signs up early. Nobody does anything. So I just kind of roll with it. And then we figure it out on Saturday morning.
You do a really good job asking for feedback through the social media, the open forums, and this isn't in closed groups or anything. This is y'all's open forums. You do really good about asking for feedback. And from my time having been around Queen City and you take it to heart and you make a decision that's best for the majority of people. Hence the change in the tournament this past weekend that was supposed to be at Raleigh and Jordan and Falls that you had to change. Yeah. So, you do a really good job of that. And I would say that's probably one of the reasons why your club has grown so well is because you do really take into account the feedback that you get and you draw in a lot of people because they feel like they can invest in it.
So, and thank you for that, Paul. I say it all the time. I am the face. You guys get to hear and see me, whether that's good or bad, but it's not my club. It's your club. Right. And
just don't put it on a shirt.
I won't put it on a shirt.
It ain't that pretty. You're a handsome fella, but you ain't pretty enough to be on a shirt. I am, but you're not.
Oh, so if we get 2 shirts made, we'll have to see which one sells better. Got it.
Mine's already been made and sold. It's limited time run. You can never buy that shirt again.
Limited time run.
But kind of what Paul's saying is you really do stand here by the anglers. The open forums are really more for, I think, entertainment from an outsider's perspective, even for mine. I love to scroll through all the comments and see what people are writing and give them angry faces. But at the end of the day, you are doing what people are asking for. Mm-hmm. Is it always what we want? No. Are we getting free desserts? No. But, you're listening and you are putting in the work. And I know you heard my feedback on the co-ed event and tried to find a good compromise. My husband said it's a good compromise. So
I had a couple anglers message me and tell me that Mountain Island in November is spot on for the ladies.
Yes.
So, and anything I can listen to and I can adjust without breaking the foundation. We have dug our roots, and I'm not going to dig those up because they've got us to where we are. But like little things, like the clip is in talks, right? There's part of me that absolutely hates judging a picture with a clip. The director, the business owner side of me is like, hey, if a new guy's gonna come because we allow a clip, why the hell should I get rid of a clip?
So wait, can you just kind of tell us, this is your moment to shine. So what's up with the clip?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you, Tori.
Real quick.
Bass and Brews podcast. You gotta have an answer.
Hold on, real quick. For the people that don't know what we're talking about, Vinny allows a metal clip, like a fish chain, when you go to catch 85 bass and take it home for a fish fry that night. He allows that when you can put that on the fish to measure it as long as it doesn't interfere with the bump board and all that. So he's talking about a fish clip. So because anybody that does not fish kayaks measure the fish, the little bastards jump off the damn board all the time, and so it's just a way to keep it from losing the fish. Hook sets.
What's up, Hook set?
Hey, what up?
He's here for the answer. He wants it now. He's the impatient.
Hey, I'm down for whatever, but whatever.
So here's the deal. Like, the clip thing was like an OG rule when kayak fishing tournaments started, and there was none of this insanity worth of money on the line and no national exposure, and it was just guys getting together, right? We had plastic piece of crap hog troughs. We had clips. We had marker lines. Nothing really mattered. There were sets of rules that we followed, of course, but if you look at the game 10 years ago to what the game is today, the clip is gone. The clip is gone. But I don't know. Like, who are we? I keep it as professional as it needs to be, but at the same time, we're still here shooting the shit on a Tuesday night. So if the clip is going to help the new guy, I don't want to hurt the new guy.
I agree.
There are people who suck at taking pictures, okay? And that's across the country. And there's a handful of them here in the club, and they've been fishing with the club forever, and they still suck at taking pictures. It's not always easy for everybody. And the clip is going to help that guy, but sometimes that guy gets a penalty because of the clip. So I just, man, what's going to happen? So the big thing for me was the schedule drop and the sponsors, because that's a lot of work. What's going to happen is I'm going to pull up two sheets, 2022 rules and 2023 rules. And the ones we like, we're going to copy over. And the ones we need to edit, I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to edit them or not edit them, but I'll think on them. The clip is one of them. Trolling is one of them. I'm taking some heat on boats in practice right now, which I don't know, whatever. I'll leave it there. Whatever. Somebody asked me if I'm going to ban live sonar. Hell no, I'm not banning live sonar. I was like, no. What else is in question? That's really it. I mean, those are the ones.
There's some crazy stuff in question from that forum. You open it up and everything comes out.
Look, just go to, you can only have one paddle, not even a double paddle, just a canoe paddle, or two Zebco 33s and 4 bags of worms. That's it. Yep. Just go to that. And
kitty rod.
And you know what?
One kitty rod.
Y'all have already done that. But the same people that are gonna place high in any other tournament are typically going to be the ones that place high in those tournaments. And that's the thing about new anglers coming on is you got to fight your way up. And if you hang with it and do with it, you're going to improve. Especially in y'all's club, y'all have people that reach out for help in y'all's club, and folks just are Johnny on the spot about coming in and taking them out and helping them.
And I, it's funny. Like, you guys have said two things in the last couple minutes where I had an angler like attack me about a month ago and tell me that I don't listen to my anglers and that Queen City anglers suck because they don't help people. And the two below me know exactly who that person was. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me right now? I don't listen to my anglers? Pretty sure I'd be running it exactly how I wanted to run it if I didn't listen to my anglers. So there is a point where you get, and it's like you can't please everybody, right? And there's a point where I could be a complete asshole, but I try to live in the middle and give a little bit to both sides, right? So it used to be you control up to 2 rods, and a couple years ago we cut it down to 1 rod. And it used to be we allowed any kind of board, and now obviously it's got to be 1 board. Like we have to live in that neutral area where we can still pay out a ton of money, but we can be friends and this and that, but we got to follow a set of standards that hit the majority. And sometimes getting to that majority is going to piss 1 or 2 off. And I have a feeling, unfortunately, that somebody might be mad at me today. And we spoke about it on Facebook open forum this morning about how many days of off-limit boating he wants. So, and if he watches this, he'll know who I'm talking about. But we'll see, man. I haven't gotten there yet. That's a December thing for me. So first week of January, I can post the rules for you all. But nothing dramatic will change. I mean, if I get rid of the clip, how many people are really still using a clip?
We see it though. You're talking about it where you're having guaranteed payouts of $1,500 and $2,000 for first, $1,000 for second. That's guaranteed. That's not what could be added on top when people, depending on how many people sign up.
Yeah, that's if 2 people showed up.
When you start to get into that kind of money, if you don't have rules, not standards, but rules that you follow. People are going to exploit the gray areas, and those rules are there to protect the club and protect you. And I mean, we saw it this week. I'm not going to reference it because the shit's all over the place and every other podcast.
Don't talk about
it. But y'all have had some stuff pop up. A lot of clubs have stuff pop up, and it's always that gray area in the rules where somebody exploits it, and they're like, "Well, this isn't what the rules say."
Yeah.
But with the amount of money coming into local club kayak fishing, you have to have them, and everybody has to follow them. And you just open yourself up to too much bullshit. And when you got a club where 125, 130 people are fishing every time, there's already a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
so
I'm not
dealing with that stuff. I mean, you got to have that shit in place.
Yeah.
The rules are black and white. There is no gray. I'd like to think there's no gray. I mean, you can go through my rules and tell me if there's gray, but
there's no gray.
There's no gray.
I would say we talk about it a lot. Queen City is definitely a club that has a lot of integrity, and it's because you don't have that gray.
Thank you.
So, like, it's a club with integrity, and we appreciate that you have created this club with so much integrity.
Yeah.
And well, thank you. And again, I got to thank the anglers, and I got to thank the people behind me, because without the people behind me, you guys don't have guaranteed money, right? So it's everyone, and having 120 people come out every month is you guys, and I appreciate you all, and I hope we continue to grow. I don't want to have a conversation next year where it was like, oh, well, year 9 was our smallest year. Hell no, I want to keep going. We've had 8 years of growth. We have never had a down year. Never. I have the chart. Never. So I want to keep that going in year 9. Now, year 9 is going to look different. I don't know how we read the data exactly in year 9, because we may have trail events that look smaller because of the divisional stuff. But I think our overall reach and unique anglers, is going to be different because of where we're going, right? So you may have guys that live around, let's just say Fontana, because we're going to Fontana, that will fish all 4 mountain events but never show up to a trail event. So I really, there's so much unknown, but I don't really care. I'm excited. The money's there. The companies support you all. We're going to have a freaking blast, and I can't wait to judge fish coming out of somewhere that's 400 miles from me in my state. Well, in your state. I live in South Carolina, but in North Carolina.
So, Vinny, one of the things about your club and the growth that you talked about. So we hear a lot about people wanting to grow the sport. I'm not going to get into that shit, but as growing a local trail, and right now the kayak scene is a growing industry. Especially the competitive side of it. And everybody's wanting, how do we grow it? How do we go from 30 people to 40 and 60 and 100 and this and that? For the folks that might be listening who want to start a trail, or folks that are already a TD of a trail, give us 2 or 3 of the things that you think might have helped you grow to where you are. Because you hear it a lot. You hear it in your local trails, you hear it on podcasts. How do we grow? And this isn't just in the kayak side. It's probably stuff that you can take from the boat side to grow your local trails on the boat side. So growing a bass fishing trail, boat, kayak, bank, whatever the hell you want to be, give us 2 or 3 things that you think are the most important to that's gotten you to where you are now with Queen City.
There's a bunch of little things, I think, and then we'll talk about what I think might be one big one, and then a bunch of people will disagree when this goes live. Number 1, no gray. We already touched on it, right? Black and white integrity. When they teach, get them the fuck out, right? When they teach. Jesus Christ, I gotta drink more of this coffee. When they cheat, get them the fuck out.
You're out. Always out,
right? So
fuck them teachers.
Yeah, get them out, because that's a big thing, right? We've had 2 main ones that came in, and I thought it was over. I thought Queen City was done both times, and it did the complete opposite. You get rid of them, you put them on blast, and you actually grow. So that, I think black and white rules and doing what you're supposed to do with those rules. I think the next thing would be to support your community, right? If you look at our banner, you don't see huge industry names. You see huge Charlotte names. You see Rock Outdoors, not necessarily Charlotte, but I think you all who are listening and know me know what I mean. You see custom tackle supply. You see what was like a bunch of HVAC companies. You see the local tackle shops. You see pressure washing companies. You see the guys like me and you who are busting their tail to make $1 to put food on their family's plate at night. That's who we are supporting. That's who we are advertising for. That's who we want you to use. So you help me grow what I'm trying to do here, and I help you grow your business. The Rangers, the Tritons, the Yamahas, they don't care about us. They're not going to dump money into something little like what we are here. We are little compared to their reach. So I want to support my community. I'm trying to build my community, my Carolinas. I look at it as my Carolinas. And that might be arrogant, but I look at it as my Carolinas. I'm trying to grow my Carolinas. And then some people are going to disagree with this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. You tournament fish for money. That's why you tournament. You don't show up at a tournament and you're there for shits and giggles. You tournament fish for money, right?
You mean it's not that free slice of pizza?
It's not. And you can even have 2 of them, but I still don't think it's that. And, and now don't get me wrong. And some people will disagree, but you told me to be myself tonight. There are people who come to a tournament for everything else. And everything else is great. Shake hands, eat pizza, learn. Learn's a big one, right? Just get out. Get away from the work life. Get away from the family life if it's bad at home. All of that is great. But when we went to QC 1K that first year, we went from 60 to 98 average. So don't tell me it ain't about the dollars. It's about the dollars. Anglers want money. If I'm an angler and I'm in the middle of 2 regions and one tournament's paying $300 for first place and one tournament's paying $2,000 for first place, all you got to do is check Tourney X to see which tournament had more people.
Yeah.
You already know the answer. So since we did the 1K, the QC 1000 the first year, which I can't even tell you how many years ago it was now. I think it was 5. We went 1,000, we went 1,100, we went 1,200, we went 1,500, and next year we're going, and then we added second place, and next year we're going 2,000 on some of the stuff. You gotta keep that growth, and then guys will continue to come and grow with you. And I'm a big believer in that. And I work with a couple directors around the country. Why are people fishing the Hobie series? Why? Because first place is $11,000. That's why. Why am I going to take? Because first place is $45,000. I'm not going to meet new people. I'm going to win $45,000. I might meet
another
new people
club
along the way.
Yeah, another club that does not allow motors. You've done you've done. You've done what you've done without allowing motors, and that's kind of. How many people have motors on their kayaks? There's a ton. Now, I'd say probably half of the people competing nationwide, if you put them all together, probably half of them have motors. To be able to grow it at a man powered, or person powered, that's another thing that's very weird. And I'm sure you do get a lot of pushback on that shit. But you take Hobie, who's the #1 national trail out there right now. You take y'all, which are Queen City. If it's not, it's got to be one of the largest, top 2 probably grassroots that doesn't allow motors. And folks come out there and they still fish and they compete and they have a good time. And you see that a lot too. People have a good time. Speaking of good times, how many people show up to your LinkedIn's?
My
LinkedIn's.
StreamYards?
Your weigh-ins.
What are you talking about?
What the hell are you drinking? It's good stuff. You should promote it.
It's a LinkedIn,
no, wait, Paul, I want to circle back before we get to that. Don't worry. We're going to circle on back, Vinny Vin.
You should have brought a whiteboard.
You're talking about how...
Is this right here where it gets crazy, the 45-minute mark? Where it's about to go down?
Because I'm almost done with my first can of cider. All right. So you talked about how, this is the big thing, that you guys are us. Not you guys. I'm part of this club. Just because I haven't cashed a real big check yet doesn't mean I'm not part.
Hold on.
First of all, Tori, it's y'all, not you guys. We don't say that shit down here. It's y'all.
It's you guys. So I talk to an angler often on the phone. He is somebody who is not afraid to tell me if he doesn't agree with something I'm doing. He's not afraid to give input. I won't say his name. We do travel together. He always says we, and then he corrects himself. My bad, your club. No, man, it's not my club. I just have to file the taxes at the end of the year. You can say we and you. It is your club. We, if you are coming every month and paying $65, you can say we. So go for it.
Okay. We, Queen City. Yeah, we do bring the big bucks. We got the money there. But you've created a club where people are safe and feel comfortable enough to have that camaraderie. So it's like, even though that's not why we're here, because if you were only giving us $20 for first place, let's face it, you're not going to have those numbers, but you are giving out so much money for first place, but yet it is such a community. I look at like my husband who started fishing so many years ago with you guys, and just like the friendships that he's built within this club. Like, we've vacationed with people.
Yeah.
Like, it is a community. And I think that's what makes Queen City so special, is that not only is it competitive, you have a chance. Most people who aren't Tori have a chance of bringing home a pretty big check. But also you have a great opportunity to make some really good friends and build those relationships. And I think that part's priceless.
It's like the chicken or the egg, right? Which came first? So you all started coming when the money got big, right? So you're all there with one goal in mind at that moment. And that moment is to win that money and that piece of hardware. But along the way, the stuff that you gain is priceless. Like, Ryan's been around Borderline since day one.
Yeah, right? I remember the day he met you. He told me.
My wife used to teach his nephew. Right? And this was freaking years ago. So, like, yeah, Ryan's been around since day one. It's the stuff that you targeted the money at first and you realize, oh, damn, these people are pretty cool. And we're all in it for the same thing. And, you know, and it just turns into, it's more than a community. It's family. If you're vacationing with people, it's freaking family, you know, and yeah, that's it. I mean, it's family. When I say QC family on there, it's real. We did Thanksgiving at my house one year.
We weren't invited.
This was like 4 or 5 years ago. We did Queen City, and it was an open vote. So don't tell me you weren't invited. Open, come to the Commish's house. We did Thanksgiving at my house. That's more than community.
Yeah. We had some friends over, some anglers over for Easter. So yeah.
And I wasn't invited. So
yeah,
right
we
back.
didn't invite you.
You weren't invited either. That's the great thing about the local clubs and staying. And so I'll you know, our local clubs, we've got one kind of by the Greensboro area, CKA, and then we got CCKF, which is, we're finishing up the second year of that one here. They're local to Raleigh. And I fish mainly the CCKF because we fish Falls, Jordan, Harris predominantly, and then we go out to some of the other lakes. But at this point in time, I can't, you know, I haven't fished any Queen City events past Baden. Yeah. And in those areas. And it's because I don't have the opportunity to drive and to be gone for a Friday or you know, to get up at 12 o'clock and do that. I love the two clubs that we have here when they fish our lakes locally. I enjoy that. But I kayak fish because I want to compete. I don't like to fun fish. I don't really fun fish. I'm always doing something geared towards how do I win fucking money at the next damn tournament. That's what I'm always doing. And the reason I got into the kayak was to fish tournaments.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. In 2020, when I wanted to get back into fishing, I told my wife, I said, look, I'm doing away with all these other stupid ass things that I do. I just want to fish. And I started looking at bass clubs. And it was going to be as a non-boater. All the good ones around here pretty much didn't accept non-boaters because they're a pain in the ass. And they fuck shit up and they make it miserable for everybody else. And so I had met a couple guys at the ramp farting around. One of them had a rigged out Hobie. He told me about these local clubs. I looked at it, and like 6 weeks later, I bought a Hobie, and I started fishing in 2021. Yeah. But our clubs here allow me the opportunity to, and I've got two things on this. One is I can get to Jordan Falls and Harris in 15, 20, and 45 minutes. That's insanely awesome. And then some of our other small lakes that we do are 30 minutes from the house.
Yeah.
Y'all's centralized area out of Charlotte, you're getting to lakes in an hour, right?
Yeah.
Or less in a lot of scenarios. On KBM Monday, they had the two AOI guys from a Tennessee club and Arkansas club. And the guy in the Arkansas club was talking about how some of their tournaments, the majority of tournaments, like 2 or 3 hour drives to fish a local trail.
Yeah.
We are blessed in this state and in South Carolina to have super good fisheries, big and small, which that's a great thing about a kayak tournament too, right?
Yeah.
You got 50 people, you can put them on a small body of water. But we're lucky that we're able to stay at home and fish 7 or 8 events and drive an hour away at the most.
Yeah. We have amazing waters in the Carolinas. We have amazing anglers in the Carolinas. You have a lot of opportunity. That's one of the words I use all the time. For somebody like you who can't make a run over to Queen City to fish for the money, you still have an option to get your competitive outlet in with the other 2 local clubs. So yeah, everybody here is lucky. And sometimes I feel like anglers take what they have for granted with some of the complaining and the input, but it's here. And if you want it, come get it. And if you don't, then don't worry about it. But it's funny you said I don't fun fish. That's when I was running gun and I was doing 40 tournaments a year, I would usually burn out about June, and then I'd spend June and July chasing smallmouth, and then I'd go back at it through the fall and burn out again in the winter, and I'd grab an A-rig and go catch smallmouth again. Smallmouth are like my get back to life, my love, man. I love freaking smallmouth. And I get the not fishing for fun thing. I was always pre-fishing or scouting or afraid to set the hook too many times. And I'm at a stage in my life right now where I'm kind of over that and I want to enjoy fishing a little bit more, but that comes because of the directing thing, right? If I wasn't directing 30 tournaments a year, I don't know if that would be the case. But right now, with my daughter is playing travel softball, I'm coaching football, I got 30 tournaments a year to direct. I work full-time as a teacher. My wife runs a high school. Like, there's just so much. Something had to go, and it finally felt like the time for me to let go a little bit. And that's when I stopped fishing Queen City. And I told my wife, I said, I got one more year in me to run around the country and chase the Hobie thing. And you all saw my video walking through the damn river, miserable in Pennsylvania, and I thought it was over for me. And then I said, well, I got one more trip, and I jumped on a plane. I went to Wisconsin. So, yeah, dude, like, this is it for me. I won't tournament fish next year more than, 1 or 2, if that. So, but, I get it.
Y'all will never catch my fat ass ever being a tournament director. Not ever. First of all, I just don't want to put up with the shit. But the other thing is what you're saying now, not fishing it. And in the kayak world, you hear this topic come up a lot about TDs fishing their own tournaments. And I would say this. If our TDs at our 2 local trails couldn't fish the ones that they're doing, we wouldn't have no fucking local trail. Like, it is, I would say, almost fact. But there's also, when you start getting into where Queen City's gotten at this point, there either needs to be a disconnect or there needs to be a director. You're the face of it, and there's a director. But this is the thing about the local grassroots stuff to me is a lot of people started those trails, and you said it because you wanted to fish for a little bit of money. Yep. And if they hadn't started those trails, then for you to turn up direct and win a little bit of money and fish with your friends, the shit would have never started. And most of those trails are like that. Not a lot of them have somebody that's like, oh, yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll just TD. They're there because the folks want to fish too. And that's my biggest argument when that comes up is we have a local trail because they want to be able to fish in it, and they're the ones taking on all the fucking work. Yeah. I mean, look, you want me to help? Yeah, I mean, Mm-mm.
It's
You'll
a
never see
complete
me doing
shift.
that.
It's a shift in your mindset if you or when you do what I did. So I was going to walk away from fishing after year 6 because in year 7 we got pretty big. And I knew it was coming, right? I could see the growth and I knew what was happening and I knew what we were going to do behind the scenes. And then in year 6, 2020, it was, you know, the year the world went to shit. I sucked at fishing. I literally forgot how to freaking fish. And I had gone 5 straight years of finishing top 5 in Queen City, which I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I was freaking proud as hell of that. You know, these anglers are phenomenal. So to not only be running it, but finish top 5, win angler of the year, whatever, all my stuff you see behind me. And then year 6 fall apart. And like, how the hell did this happen? I didn't qualify for the TOC. I made it to the fish off and didn't even fucking win the fish off. I was like, I'm coming back in year 7. This is bullshit. I can't fly like this. So I went and told my wife I was done. And then I was like, fuck that. I'm coming back. I'm fishing. So I fished year 7.
You Tom Brady'd it before Tom Brady did it.
Yeah, dude. I was like, no, there ain't no way.
He commished it. Tom Brady commished it.
Put a stamp
He
on
commished it. That's. I knew I brought you on here for a reason.
I got to make TOC. This is some crazy shit. So I came back, and I think I finished 8th in year 7. And I was like, okay, I still got it. I could catch a fish here and there. I cut a couple checks. I got a couple of the really fly wood plaques, and I was like, all right, now I can walk away. I filled my bucket. I got 8th place in the whatever. I made it to the TOC. I'm done. So moving into this season, this was the first season I fully walked away. But I did have a conversation with someone 3-4 years ago. Very, very successful businessman, owns a bunch of businesses here in Charlotte. And he was like, what do you mean you're not making any money off this? And I was like, dude, I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't really know how to make money off of this, to be completely honest with you. And we had a 20-minute conversation, and he doesn't know it, but he laid the foundation for everything that I am able to do now behind the scenes. And he has no idea. He doesn't know me. This was a completely random phone call. And I have switched it over to a business mindset behind the scenes. I don't think I've portrayed anything differently on you except W9s, but I can't help that. But behind the scenes, it is a 100% business mindset now. It is about dollars for me, right? I want to make a few dollars, but at the same time, I want you all to make a few dollars too. So that switch has fulfilled my not fishing bucket. And because I'm a grinder and I'm a competitor, and I know that if I go out and I sell this title, you know, boom, that was a good day. I made a few bucks today. Boom, that was a good day. Hell, I made $1,000 today. You know, so that grind, that business grind, that going legal LLC grind fulfilled the grind that I was doing on the water with you all. And that's why I'm okay right now. And a lot of people don't get that, but I don't know. And I don't know why I'm wired like that, but I am. So, you know, I've
put in the work. You deserve to get something out of this. I know this is a conversation that we have here in the house, is like, look at what we're getting on the table every month. All of the raffles, even though you need to have a new person call out the names, such as myself, and maybe organize them differently, call them in a different order.
As he organizes them.
I feel like I should have a little leeway there.
So what you're saying, Tori, what you're saying is you need to be the MC of the LinkedIn.
Well,
stop calling it a LinkedIn. It's a
weigh-in.
We don't weigh shit. We don't weigh a damn thing.
It's the weigh-in.
The Attorney X-in.
He did let me call out. All right. The other Ryan let me call out the names the last time, but I didn't like the order in the list. And then I realized I'm always at the bottom of the list because of how we have that
set up behind the scenes. Tori's the last one on the list.
Yeah.
Every time. Nice.
Except this time, somehow I was able to manage to get that Sakura gift card. # support who supports us.
Hey, Sakura's coming back next year. So that's awesome.
So, but like, you are putting in the work for us. You are making sure we have the raffles. You're getting the sponsors. It's not like that $2,000 for first place next year was just like an easy thing. I don't think. I picture you putting in the work. We see you as somebody who's out there putting in the work. And whenever you bring value to something, there needs to be compensation for that value.
Yeah. And again, I'm going to flip it right back on you all. It's the support who supports us. If you're not out there spending money at the places that are on these jerseys and on the banner, then my conversations get awkward, right? And my conversations with sponsors are like, oh, well, I can't come back next year because nobody spent any money. I had a guy tell me this year he's not coming back next year because 4 people bought his product this year, you know? So he didn't get his money's worth. I'm not going to lie about it. So I can't say anything back except I understand, you know, and then that's it. And then I have to move on and I have to fill that title. So that support who supports us is huge, not just so I can make a few dollars, but so you all can continue to fish for big dollars, you know. And I don't ever want to be like, well, this year we got to go down to $800 for first place. So we got to keep supporting the guys that you see on the banner and who are making all this possible. So, and next year, especially, man, Boondocks and Big Adventures, the expansion is 100% because of them.
So that's the thing. That's the thing too, is you have the law of attrition with your sponsors. It's sales. There we go. Double fist that coffee. You have attrition with your sponsors, just like you do in any other sales or any other business. You have attrition of clients, and so you have to replenish those, and then you still probably have to go back and sell some of your other sponsors to come back again. That is a job in of its own. Now, Queen City is an anomaly in the local trail sphere because of how large it is and because of the guaranteed payouts. That's a good goal for a lot of local trails to shoot for. But let's be honest, most local trails are going to be somewhere in that 40 to 70 anglers. They're going to have 2 or 3 key sponsors that provide gifts or stuff at the linked ends. Don't tell me not to say weigh-ins. This is my fucking podcast. I say whatever I want.
You keep saying LinkedIn. Nobody's getting LinkedIn.
Another fucking social media platform. Nobody's linking anything. My brain hurts. I can't even listen to them.
But that's the hard part about doing the tournament stuff is guaranteed payouts. The raffles at the end. You know, a lot of people come to those for that, as we've already talked about before.
Yeah, it's the free pizza and the prize.
There you go. That one slice, and they're counting. Tori's there counting. Nope, he's got 2 pieces. but to continue to get those sponsors in, so you have those giveaways, or if you do have a guaranteed payout, that's just you have to do that when you get to the size that y'all have gotten to with the amount of anglers you got to deal with, and the number of sponsors that you got giving money. I mean, that does create a whole different level of management that you have to do in that. But
I've
still,
had people ask me if I have a degree in marketing. Hell no, I got no degree in marketing. I teach physical education, 15-year veteran, but I've developed the degree in marketing because it just kind of happened and I just ran with it. And
but you believe in what you're selling.
Absolutely.
A degree in hustle and grind.
Hustling, I definitely got a degree in that. Mm-hmm. That comes from New York. The hustle and the grind comes from my northern roots.
We hustle and grind down here too.
I will say, just a little bit slower. I will say that the hardest part of my year is right now. Like from June to right now is like, 2 40-hour jobs. But when the season starts, it actually gets easier. I can just okay, we have an event. That's 1 day a month I got to work. Like right now, it is, dude, this is why I don't listen to podcasts. Every drive home, I'm on the phone with somebody. 7 a.m., I'm on the phone driving to work. It never ends. My phone never stops. There's always someone to talk to, something to do, and it is literally almost every day. So like music, podcast, it doesn't happen. I'm on the phone in the truck. I think if I died right now, Ezzy could run Queen City because she hears it all in the truck. That kid is going to own a business. She is going to own a business.
She's like the second known face of Queen City.
I'm telling you. She hears me and she sees Emerald. She is going to take over the world. But anyway, sorry.
With tournament kayak fishing locally, the payouts, they rival your local big boat tournaments with payouts.
Yeah.
And it might not be the amount that you win, but the ROI that you get in one of these local tournaments, you can still finish third place and win $250 and still have made money in that tournament. You're not going to see that. So you're going to start to see these local trails, if they can hang around and continue to grow, you're going to start to see bigger payouts, and you're going to start to see some of these tournaments where there's $10,000 pots for that monthly tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to get that way from an angler perspective, and just looking and having fish boat tournaments and stuff like that. Do you see, Vinny, the kayak side getting to maybe where you have an opportunity to win more money on that monthly tournament than you would in that monthly tournament from the boat side?
Yeah, so we're already paying more than most of the boat series if you look at the payouts. The difference is the money we're putting into the pot, right? A lot of guys they're gonna tote around that 100% payout or after fees or whatever clubs are gonna say. It's the same stuff we used to say. But the difference is not only are we 100% payout after fees, but I'm throwing anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 on top of what came in. So every now and then you get an angler who gets on the page and he's like, "Oh, Vinny made $4,000 in profit today," and I'm like, "What? Where do you come up with this stuff?" And then I got a buddy up north in Delaware that says it's dumb angler math, right? 65 times 150, and then what I paid out. But PayPal went up, and PayPal's almost $4 a head, and TourneyX is $5 a head, and we pull $6 for the TOC. And I don't ever take $1 out of the entry into a trail event. There is nothing profited off of you, the angler, in a trail event. If you just look at a bank account, am in the red, $1,500 per trail event. That is a real number. Big bass is $300. You don't pay into that. First place is, we'll call it $2,000. You only put $65 into that. You want to do some math? We'll do some math, right? So I don't see a monthly boat tournament doing that. What I see is based on X amount of anglers, or I see a one-off event that's $5,000 for first. Nobody wants to talk about what second place is, right? And that's what sucks as an angler. Yeah, hell yeah, we're all fishing for first place, but I don't want to win second and get $300 when first got 5,000, right? So I think because of the support we have, I've been able to keep it nice, right? It's 1,500, then it's 1,000, then it's usually 700 to 800 for third, 500 for fourth. Like it's a nice breakdown. I could easily tell you right now, we could make Jordan Lake $4,000 first place, no problem. But then second place might be $200, and I don't want to do that.
No,
I don't want to do that. I want everyone in that top 10 to like quadruple what they put in, and there's another, I guess we'll call it national series out there, and they're always toting their payouts around, and I look at TourneyX and they have like 65 anglers, and okay, first place is nice, but their entry fee is like $200 or like $225. And this is what I was saying before about like not taking things for granted. We're remaining $65, and when in 9 years, we've gone up $25 in 9 years. So, and it's not me. I'm not saying all this to say I'm special. It's not me. It's the guys on the banner, right? And that's how this happens. So 9 years, $25. My gas bill went up more than that this month. So look around and realize your 65 is worth a lot here at Queen City. And some of the negative is, oh, well, we got to fish against 100 guys. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? I don't know.
We chose to sign up for that, though.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to sit here and try to get 50 people in the tournament. I'm going to try to get 200 people.
We don't have to worry. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that shit up in like the Northeast where their lake can only hold 40 people. And so, you're capped out at that. Again, it goes back to $65 for an entry fee with a chance to win $2,000 guaranteed plus whatever could be on top of that, depending on how many people sign up.
Yeah.
You think about the gas involved, and if you Airbnb with 5 or 6 other people at night, you maybe are out of there at 250, 200.
Hell, I mean,
if that was a boat tournament,
number.
That's your entry fee. And then you got another $100-something in fuel for the boat and to tow. I mean, the money in the kayak side, and I think that's one reason why you're seeing the tournament fishing side grow, is because it's the allure of the money. Some people don't think they'll ever finish first, but they're like, but I have a chance as long as I pay it. I potentially have a chance. But what's $45 or $35 or $65 to go spend a day out on the water that you were probably going to go do anyway?
Yeah.
That people don't think twice about that amount of money.
Yeah.
It's just, they just don't. They throw the damn kayak in the back of the truck. They pay their $65. They head out there, and you know what? They either leave early because they suck, or they win $2,000.
Or they're just praying for a miracle.
And then we have other stuff, like we have the bubble boy, right, who's going to get the free entry next month, and then we have the guaranteed $100 for the I don't know, the 10% plus one person, the person right out of it, and then we have I swear to you, all right, I'm going to make everybody laugh here. You ready? Every LinkedIn we've had this year, everybody who came back, which is like 50 plus people, has gone home with a prize. Yeah, it may only be a pack of baits, but
or a $50 Sakura gift card.
Every angler has gone home with a prize. So I just keep grinding and trying to make it great for you all. And I appreciate the support back. And let's just keep the train rolling, baby. 2023 can't get here soon enough. But that being said, we do still have 3 events and a championship in 2022. And there is still a lot on the line. There's a lot going on. So, we got to fish hard, and you guys got to get out there and win some stuff this year.
So what I'm hearing is you need to quit teaching and run Queen City and then the BASS kayak side. That's what I'm hearing.
We'll just have to see what happens on that one.
Oh man, so much.
I don't think that
go make it happen. Go make it. Somebody needs to get that shit straight.
It's one of those things. Could I walk away right now and be okay and pay my bills and be all right? Probably, but. I'm 15 years in. I'm going to have a good pension one day when I retire. I have summers off. I really do love my job. There are days, of course, right? Anybody's like, oh, my God. But I do love my job. I'm a PE teacher. It's fun. I get to run around a little bit. The last 5 years of my life have been awesome because I've been able to take and teach Ezzy every day and then take her home every day. So I'm going to hit something in like May this year where everything could change. I don't think, I don't know what next year is going to look like for me as far as my career. So it may end up, I have to fall back on Queen City, or it may end up, I get lucky and I get to stay at my school, or it may end up, I get put in a pool and I go to some terrible school and I quit. I don't know what my future looks like. So, I'm kind of living one day at a time right now. I go to work, I smile, I hit a couple kids with dodgeballs. I coach football. And you fools at night. So,
well, all right. Tell me this then. I have a question. You're not going to fish the Queen City tournaments next year. It doesn't sound like you're going to travel to the Hobies like you've been doing. So what the fuck does your fishing look like? Are you going to fish? Are you going to come over to some other local trails? I mean, what are you going to do? Are you just not going to fish?
Shit, man. So let's look at this year before I even think about next year. I went to, obviously the first tournament of the year was Santee for me, which was March. And by Saturday night, I was quitting fishing. I was fucking miserable.
Look, I can't tell you how many times I've got back to the ramp and be like, everything here is for sale. Come get it. I'm joking.
I couldn't
100%.
believe it. I was just like, damn, dude, 6 days ago, I had 98 inches in this creek. And then I had 57 inches. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So anyway, then I got to put the happy face on because I had to hold the LinkedIn for all the guys. So I had to be director mode. Then I had to go cry and do all the standings and then figure out where I was going to fish. So I woke up Sunday morning and I didn't know where I was going to go fish. And so Sunday morning at 4:30 a.m. when I called Matt Sandifer, that morning literally changed my 2022 because of what happened, right? Because if I don't get that, I'm probably not going to New Hampshire. I'm probably not going to Wisconsin. So that morning changed everything. So I fished that event. I love fishing again, right? Then April comes around and Georgia Bass Nation's having an event, a recruiting event, combined with South Carolina Bass Nation on Lake Hartwell. I have a pretty good track record on Lake Hartwell. I've done well. There's actually a big check right above that check. That's from Lake Hartwell. I've done well on Lake Hartwell. I've done terrible on Lake Hartwell too, but it's a lake that I feel pretty confident on. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a run down there and just go mess around with Lake Hartwell, see if I can qualify for the Classic. Well, I actually had just gotten a motor, and this was a motor event. So I was like, oh shit, all right, let's see what the motor life is about. So I threw the motor on it, the Newport on the Native, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is not an advantage. Okay, right? So
Queen City might have motors. I was starting next week.
No, it pushed me the other way, dude. So that's what a lot of people are afraid of. It pushed me the other way because it was such an advantage that I was like, this is disgusting for the guys who will buy a motor versus the guys who won't. Dude, I ran like 40 docks on full speed with my side scan set to the left, and I would just go. And when I would mark a fish, I'd stop the motor, turn around, cast the A-rig, catch them, do it again for like 40 docks. You're not doing that with pedals. Not as efficient as I was doing it with a motor. Then the sun came out and the bass moved up onto the beds. So I was in an area. Hartwell's very fingery. It's got a lot of little fingers. So I was able to run from the main lake to the back of the finger in a matter of minutes. Look, stand up, look for a bed, leave. Run to the next one, stand up, look for a bed, catch a 5-pounder, catch another 5-pounder, run to the back of the finger. And I was like, this is silly. So long story short, I ended up doing well. I got 4th, I think, on the Georgia side. I don't know. I got like 4th and 9th. I cut a check and I qualified for 2 state championships. And I was like, okay, cool. Good day. No big deal. So I'll fish for the state championship for South Carolina. And then the Hobie run started. And I knew that I was going to Pennsylvania because that's probably my favorite fishery in the world. I knew I was going to go to Tennessee because it's Tennessee and it's right up the road, 4 hours, whatever. Chickamauga, never been there. And then I was like, damn, New Hampshire, I'm off. So like I could make a 2-week road trip out of a 16-hour fishery, and it's going to be 70 people. If I could just beat 50 of them, it'll be worth it. I go up, I practice, I crush them. Saturday, forget how to fish. Suck. So now I'm 20 hours from home. I'm miserable. Then the Susky comes. I crush them all week. Saturday, forget how to fish. I'm miserable. And then, so that was it. So I was done fishing. 2022 is over. I have no plans for 2023. And who calls me? Matt. He's like, bro, it's only $1,100 to fly to Wisconsin. I said, what did you just say to me?
Did you know I'm a teacher?
I literally said, I think you're fucking crazy. Next week, I called him. How much was it to go to Wisconsin? We still had a week. So I was like, man, I don't know. So I go back to work. And I go in my principal's office. Again, I'm a teacher for those who are listening. And I say, hey, what are we doing on Friday? Because it was a work day. And I got this whole email about all these meetings. And she's like, nothing. She's like, it's a work on the work day. If you don't have anything to do, you're free. I said, like, free, like if I'm in Wisconsin, you don't care, free? I said, look, this is what I'm going to do. She's like, do it, coach. Go for it. So I called Matt, and this is exactly how the conversation went. Yo, Matt, get me a price. I'll call you later. And I hung up. He called me later. He's like, dude, $498. You can be in Wisconsin Friday morning. I said, let's go. I came home and I booked it and I went. And it worked out, right? It sent me to the TOC. I get another shot at another cup. That's all I want. Not really. This year I want to win it, but I get a shot at another cup. But I went so hard this year because I was fully prepared to walk away from everything in 2023. So I don't fish Queen City. I will fish the joint event with Hobie and Queen City next year, just the Hobie side. And then there's possibly one other Hobie event I might care to go, maybe 2 that I might care to go fish. If they fall on a weekend, I'm not directing a tournament. I got 20 weekends next year where they're gone. And then my daughter's playing travel softball. So those are Saturdays. So yeah, my competing days are very, very limited next year. I I do have some fisheries that I love to go to a couple times a year in the mountains. I love to float rivers and chase big largemouth and smallmouth. So I will do more of the fun fishing, the thing you said you hate, next year. Hopefully just catch up with some people I haven't been able to fish with. I had an angler tell me a couple weeks ago, man, I wish I knew you when you fished and you were learning all this stuff. And I was like, dude, we can still go fish together. Like, I know I'm the director, but like, we can go hang out. And like, so he was supposed to pre-fish with me this weekend, and he's focused on another tournament, so he's not going to come with me. It's Wes. I mean, I'm not going to, I could talk about Wes.
Oh,
so
you finally name drop.
I did name drop. I don't know how people get about it. You know, I don't know, but Wes is cool, and yeah. Wes and I have had some really good conversations, and he was going to come pre-fish Santee with me on Sunday because I'm pre-fishing for the state championship, and he's focused on winning his Hartwell event. So he's going to focus on that. So, but yeah, so I guess all that to say, I'm probably not going to fish anything other than 1 or 2 events in 2023, which is crazy.
But it sounds like you're at peace with that decision and you're happy where you are, and you can just take some time to fun fish.
Yeah.
And not have a pressure and not want to go sell your shit and you sink your boat at the ramp when you get back to it at the end of a shitty day.
So I'm going to do a video. I'm not big on YouTube videos and filming myself like the hook sets are. And, you know, so I'm going to do a video, though, of my last 2 seasons on the road with Hobie. Definitely my 2022 season, possibly my 2021 if I can remember enough about it, but definitely my 2022. And I'm going to do like a lake breakdown and a bait that I used and how I used it and what line and what rod. I'm going to do that whole video, and I might just do it live on StreamYard and guys can jump in.
Don't do it live. That's going to get you to those 500 subscribers that we've been working so hard for on YouTube.
Okay. So I'll do it on YouTube. So, and
just send it to my husband and give him an extra free entry.
This dude's got me making YouTube videos in the middle of the freaking Susquehanna River this summer. Crayfish all over my feet, and this dude's got me filming YouTube videos. But
people want the commish.
They want the real deal.
Look, YouTube videos are successful because you teach, you catch big fish, or you have some kind of pain involved. That could be physical pain, mental pain. They want to see you hurt, cry, catch big fish, or they want to learn something.
So that's why I started talking about what I just started talking about, to tell you that when I left the 2021 TOC in Alabama on Lake Eufaula, I left in tears. I cried for about a half hour, like a little bitch. And I went from the emotional roller coaster of I'm here, I got the cup, I gave everything, to, oh my God, I hate fishing. Everything's for sale. To 2 weeks later, well, I was done. I told Mary, I'm done. I'm not chasing this shit no more. Ask her. I'll bring her in here right now. I was slapping the
I believe you.
I threw it in the garage after, when was Eufaula? November? I threw it in the garage, I swear to God, until that event in March. And, but like 3 weeks after that, I flipped it. And I was like, you know what? Eufaula broke me. Really, it was one fish that broke me. I had a stringer to be 7th place in that event in the TOC. Didn't happen. But, so it broke me. And I was like, I'm done. But I did the same thing I did after year 6 of TOC. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I belong here. I'm going for it. And if I make it, I make it. And I got one shot at it. And that shot was this year. And I shot my shot and I'm in. So now I got to take one more jumper from the corner and see if I can drill it against 50 of the best. But yeah, this is it. This is it for me. Stuff's going to get dusty after this. So we'll see. It did break me.
Look at here, Hoss. If you would have recorded a ticky-tack video of you crying with tears running down your face after that, posted it, you would be tic-tac famous right now. You'd have millions of views and subscribers. You wouldn't even need to post another video and they'd still be subscribing.
I hung up on Mary. I was like, I can't even talk to you right now. I said, I've been hungry for hours. I'm serious. I was fucked up. So what happened, I had a really good practice and I got on a bite that wasn't your general, like, oh, go hit the bank and catch fish bite, right? It was something that I specifically know I'm good at. It was an offshore Alabama rig bite. And I was like, oh damn, I can make some noise with this. And Friday I did really well. I don't remember how many inches I had, but I was like top 10. TOC top 10 day one, right? And I was like, oh shit, okay. So Saturday I go out and I catch 3 fish in like 6 casts. And I was like, oh, it's about to go down. And I get to my offshore spot and they're gone. And I was like, damn. So I had like 3 brush piles. And I was like, all right, let me go to my brush piles. I catch 1 on a brush pile. So I got 4 keepers. And it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. And I cast that A-rig up in there. And I had either 3 or 5 hooks on it. But I throw an 8 arm from True South. So I had to limit my hooks legally because I was in Alabama, I think. The lake splits. I think I was in Alabama. Yeah. Whatever, 3 or 5 hooks. And if you fish an A-rig a lot, big spotted bass, they want to kill it. They don't want to eat it. They want to kill it. So they swim through it, and they knock slack in your line. Well, I get it across that brush pile, and boom, and knock slack in the line, and I swing, and 2 hooks on the side came up with scales. And the hook that he bit had no hook on it. The swim bait he bit had no hook on it. So I'm like, oh, it's early. It'll be fine. Well, the only fish I caught after that were 4 shorts, and 3 of them were over 11.75 and didn't touch 12.
But not enough.
I literally made one with 2 hands. I made it touch 12, and I'd go to take the picture, and it wouldn't stay. So
yeah. Dude.
Sunday I go out, 3-day tournament. Sunday I go out and I catch like 17 keepers, flipping a worm. If I would have just had a 12-incher, I would have been, I think, 8th. I think is the number. I think it's 8th. If I would have had like a 15-incher or the one that killed the A-rig, I'm in like top 5 at the TOC. Yeah. So that feeling was just like, I can't even go back and celebrate Christine for winning. I can't even look at Jordan Marshall for winning AOI. Like, I love these guys. But like, I got to get the fuck out of Alabama. So I hit the road. I loaded the kayak. I strapped it, and I went straight home. And I was a mess. And then I just flipped it, and I gave it one last run this year, and I lit the fire. And this year, no matter what happens, I'm putting the fire out, and I'm going to be okay with it. So I got to take a break.
Days
12 years.
Yeah. Shitty days like that, when I have the worst days, and I'm just joking when I get back, shit's for sale, but
no, you're not.
I get home and I internalize it. Do what?
I said for a minute it's all for sale. You're not joking.
Yeah, that's right. But I am joking. Hell no, I don't. There's some things I don't sell, and fishing gear is one of them. But I played sports my whole life, numerous. Through high school, I played 3 and 4 sports through high school. Played college football, So I'm always self-internalizing and replaying shit. What could I have done better? By Sunday morning, I want to go back out and fucking fish again. And not to throw the same thing or whatever. I need to get back out there. Yeah, I need to whatever that drive is, and it's hard to articulate. But I have that time period of like, yeah, I fucking suck. I'm worthless, this and that. But the next day, I'm like, shit, you know what? I need to go run on the dock and see if I can catch a brim. I need to get back out there and try to fish again.
The level at which you're miserable at, so I was miserable at the biggest tournament in the country, right? So
I gotta go tinkle. I'll be right back.
For me, the crash after the biggest tournament was a bigger crash, and I needed a little bit of time to mentally recover. If it's like a 10-person tournament we're fishing and I crash, whatever. Next morning I'm good. But it was a big one.
I guess it all depends on where the stakes are.
I guess that's kind of how I feel. When are you going to get out on the road with us? Or not with me anymore.
In Hobie?
Yeah.
I don't have Vinny, I'm a teacher.
Listen, trust me.
I'm already giving Jeremy Heath $650 out of my wallet.
You know what's going to be great? When you cut your first check, you're gonna love it. It's gonna mean a lot to you. It's gonna be fun.
It messed me up winning that first co-ed event because that was my first time competing, and I was like top of the world high for a day, and then I crashed really low.
Yeah,
you can ask Ryan. I was not okay after.
It's gonna happen. It happens to all of us. Look, I mean, like I just said, I gave my story, but what's awesome is when it all does come together. And it's going to. It happens to every angler. It comes together. And I don't really see you quitting. So I think it's going to come together before you quit. And it's going to mean so much more. Like my first win, it was Lake James. And it was crazy. But my first win, like I'll never forget that day. Never. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, it changed too. I used to never be able to sleep before a tournament. Never. You couldn't do it. It was like you got like an hour and then you were at the lake. After that, after I got the first win, it was like, and I could sleep.
See, I need that because I'm having tourney nightmares.
Yep.
Like for a week.
No, I get it. It'll come. You'll get it. I'm telling you. You know, and then when it happens, it's going to happen in multiples. Like I won my first one and then like a month or two. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was Lake Norman. I won my first one. A month or two later, I won my second one and that one was on James. And like, it's just, you're going to start putting things together. And that's why I kind of want to make some of these like helping videos. I've not done that enough. And I do got a little bit of knowledge about a bunch of different stuff in the game. I mean, I got experience. I don't know if you want to call it knowledge, but like I know how to catch a fish or two. So like I want to be able to help guys with that. I just haven't had the time to do it. It's not that I've not wanted to do it. It's I haven't had the time to sit down at a desk with a pile full of baits and be like, all right, this is what I do with this. You know, and I need to do that for a lot of the guys. And I'm going to try, and I'm going to start with the 6 events of misery that I ran around the country with this year and show like, hey, this works on Wednesday and Thursday, but it damn sure doesn't work on Saturday. Because I got a pile of baits that I catch on Monday through Friday. Let me tell you.
So instead of like pre-spawn, spawn, time of year, lures and techniques, daily. You're going to have, all right, on Wednesdays and Thursdays when you're practicing, you're going to catch them on this. On Fridays, you're going to catch them on this. On Saturday, ain't a goddamn thing going to work, and you're going to go home and cry.
This is what your screen on Mega Live is going to look like on Thursday, and then I'm going to shut it off. This is what your screen on Mega Live is going to look like on Saturday. That shit is blank. Man, let me tell you, when I went up the Saki trip, I had a whole plan. Everybody was like, oh, I'm going to go offshore and catch smallmouth. I was like, man, fuck that. I'm going to the grass, and I'm going to catch largemouth. Tuesday morning, I go out. I catch 93 inches, I think I had, in largemouth. I had a 6.5 pounder. That's a trophy in New Hampshire. My Mega Live in this area that I found was like ding, 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 ding. So I go back Wednesday, still there. I go back Thursday. I'm not fishing. I'm just looking. I go back Thursday. I catch one fish. I leave. I'm like, we're good. So Saturday morning comes. We fly. I'm racing Hobies, right? I get there. One guy beats me. I'm like, hey, man, can we just kind of share this area? Like, this is where I was going to start. He's like, yeah, dude, fish. Dude, I put the Mega Live in the water. I was like, what? The structure didn't even look the same. I was like, is this the area? Like, what? I took that area for 35 minutes straight without one bite. On Tuesday and Thursday, I couldn't do anything wrong. Saturday morning, poof. I looked at the other guy, said, you catch anything? He's like, nothing. I was like, I give up. Wednesday through, I'm good. Monday through Friday, I'm telling you. You don't want it with me on a Tuesday tournament. It'd be game time.
Oh, so there it is. In 2024, Queen City is going to all Tuesday, Wednesday tournaments. Fucking weekends. Look, y'all complain about the boat traffic on Norman and shit. Well, you ain't got to worry about it in 2024. None.
Juicy Tuesday, baby.
These ain't no nightlies either. They regular ass 6 to 4 tournaments.
You know they got an old man tournament on Norman on Tuesday morning. They call it the old man tournament. It's like $12, and you can have 2 people per boat, but you're not on the same team. So it's like it might be like $8. So like I would fish in the back, and I've done it before. I'm in the back for $8. He's in the front for $8, and we're fishing against everybody for like $8 a head on a Tuesday morning. Yeah.
What do you win? Like a Chick-fil-A combo?
$37 or something. Yeah.
Look, you win a $20 gift card to Bob Evans.
I'm telling you, dude. I don't know if it still goes down. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. I fished it with William Hearn, and we went out and we had a blast. And it's like from like 8 to 12, I think, for like $10.
Oh, I don't know how often they do it, but last week or the week before, I was at Sharon Harris, and every now and again on Monday or Wednesday, I can get out for a couple hours from like 11 to 1 or so. and either last week or the week before, I got out there for a couple hours. And I was coming up. A guy was older gentleman said, "Yeah, we got a tournament out here today, middle of the day. They just out there fishing on Wednesday." And he says, "It's just a bunch of us retired folks out here fishing on Wednesday, so we have to put up with the bullshit on the weekends." I'm like, "That's pretty damn smart, man." But I think they had like 10 or 12 boats out there.
Dude, that's awesome. I wish I could fish during the week. Fish seem to bite better during the week. I don't know.
Oh, well, shit. In the middle of the week when I've been able to get out there, the boat traffic's a lot less. I mean, I think a little, you don't have to have your head on a swivel like you do on Saturday from May to August. I mean, and our lakes aren't even near as bad as y'all's because we don't have all our lakes are state lakes. They're private. There's no docks. All three of them. There's no docks. So we get a lot of traffic, but it ain't nothing like having 150,000 people with docks on Norman, and they all have 3 or 4 boats. I mean, it's insane.
And let me tell you something else that is a big influencer to how the fish bite or don't bite on a weekend. When do they drop the water? They mess the water up on Saturday. It never fails. The water's up. The grass is covered on Monday through Friday. Friday night, whoop, they pull that shit down. All the fish scatter. It's exactly what happened to me at New Hampshire. Exactly what happened to me at Santee on day 1. And I've come to realize that dropping water is absolutely my weakness. I don't know apparently how to adjust because
dropping water is terrible for anybody. Dropping water is a terrible condition to fish in.
But did you ever just recap it to yourself? Like, what the hell did I do wrong? What could I do different? That's the conversation I have every time the water drops. I don't know where they went. I have no idea.
You could have gotten a job at Duke Energy to stop them from dropping the water.
Yeah.
Leave the button up. Don't pull today. Lake Water Reef. I can't tell you how many times I've pre-fished Lake Water Reef.
We don't talk about Lake Water Reef around here.
God, I hate that place. But I can't tell you how many times I've popped 70 on a Wednesday in a summer in a grass patch, in one grass patch. Go back Saturday, the whole grass patch is out of the water. Now what? Good. I just go home at that point. I got nothing else. So,
the fish are still around there somewhere. They around there. They ain't going too far.
That's what they say.
Look, that's the other thing about our 3 lakes here. They're flood control lakes. They ain't generating a single lick of power. So now they're down a little bit. They pull them a little bit from winter pool, but it's not a bunch. Like the fluctuation for these lakes isn't. We don't have. It's just this area, this Raleigh area with the 3 big lakes, no docks, not a nary dock, besides a little marina or a fishing pier, and they ain't pulling water and lifting water, daily.
Yeah,
it's just it's a different place.
Yeah,
all the Queen City guys have been posting like shit. You can tell the tournament's coming up and they're finally doing their homework because y'all have like 100 posts. There ain't no docks on these lakes. What the hell am I gonna do? What am I gonna? What? They're like, what the hell do you fish on these lakes? There's no docks.
No docks, no fish.
But there's a ton of laydowns, and a laydown is a dock.
Well, that's what they're gonna need to fish. I mean. And that's something that it's funny to me. When I'm home, Wiley, Norman, what do? You fish docks. You target docks, deep docks, shallow docks, the backs of docks, the front of docks, black docks, white docks. But when I travel, I don't ever fish docks. Never. I never go to a lake in a Hobie run and I'm like, all right, where am I gonna flip docks all day? Hell no, I never do it. But here, it's so normal. It's like what you do. Like I fished the co-ed event with Mary a month ago. I must have hit 75 docks that day. I was like, but I went and fished Chickamauga in April, and I didn't hit 1 dock for a week straight.
Look, if I got to go to a tournament and fish like if there's a dock bite on, and that's the only place you can catch a fish on that lake, I am not an accurate caster. I'm not a good caster. Like if you have to be skipping jigs and shit to the back of the dock, I'm fucked. I'm probably risking my life out there in the middle of the lake looking for a point or a hump. There's going to be fish there, but I'm probably risking my life to be out there because I can fish a dock, but if it's so tough, you got to be throwing shit to the damn bank underneath. Hell no, you talking about pinging boats and shit?
Yeah, man.
No, I like to sling it. I like to put my shit on there. I like to throw it as far as I can throw it, and then I work it back. I like being offshore. I hate being up in the docks.
Look on the pro circuit, right? We'll just talk about Hank Cherry, right? Where are these guys cutting their teeth? They're cutting their teeth on Catawba chain lakes, right? So they're super accurate, like you just said. We can put a Ned rig. Yeah, we could. Did I not say that?
Oh no, I was just throwing it back at Paul because he gave me a hard time about it.
Oh, okay. So like,
no, y'all gave us a hard time for repeating about asking. No, y'all didn't. Your husband kept saying, "Shh, don't talk about that."
But yeah, these guys are putting a bait right where it needs to be 99% of the time because they're not fishing that, there's a deep offshore bite at a lake like Norman, and there's a couple areas on Wiley. But for the most part, you're fishing shallow. You're fishing a single pole. You're fishing a single foot wide opening in a float. So you have to be accurate. And that's a great point that you said. So,
we'll see, and on the pro circuit, yeah, and on the pro circuit, you hear them talk about North Carolina anglers, and they always say those guys are going to be throwing a jig. They're going to be chunking a jig. They're going to do other stuff, but those North Carolina boys have a jig in their hand a bunch of times. Well, look, we are getting, Vinny, we're getting to the point in the podcast where Tori's going to take over for a little while.
Yes.
All right.
Don't worry, Vinny. Just put on your seatbelt.
We should have started this about 20 minutes ago. But, you were worried. Exactly.
No,
Vinny was worried about what the hell we're going to talk about for an hour and a half. And here we are already 10 minutes over. And Tori now is going to take over. And this is the first time ever, Vinny, that anybody's really taken over this section.
So let me just
take it over. I can't tell you if it's going to be 5 minutes or 35 minutes.
I hope you're free for a few hours.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. I am, but
Vinny.
Vinny's
I'm going to cut Paul off.
Kids like mine. Go ahead.
We are entering the only scripted section of this podcast, which you've never listened to, but don't you worry. This is the make it or break it time. I seriously doubt we're going to break your career, but we might at least give people reason to laugh at you.
Laughing is fine. Yeah. Not hate me would be good, though.
Yes. All right. So this is our.
Do I get at least one pass?
No. 0 passes. No Sorry, buddy. Only scripted section. This is our shotgun round, the rapid fire questions. You don't get to think about these answers. Some of them I already know what your answer is going to be because I know who you are. But you have to answer it. You can give me a little bit of reason. Paul's going to get mad at some of these answers. I already know he's going to be really mad at you about the first question. All right.
Disclaimer.
So I asked you the question.
Disclaimer. She has some questions I don't even know she's asking.
Yes.
Some of these are ours, but some of these are hers.
With some extras. So me and the girls made a few extra questions.
But you and the girls? What girls?
The Queen City girls.
Oh, my ladies, my Amandas and Shellys.
I call them the girls. I don't call them
the queens.
No. Okay. All right. We're gonna start with the Babcast questions first. Crocs or flops?
I've never worn a Croc in my life.
You have to say one or the other.
Flops.
Okay, I knew it.
This is sad. This is sad.
Already.
A sad day, Vinny.
But he'll wear
I'm shaving your head.
Well, hold on. If we're gonna continue to talk, I'm gonna tell a little story. My daughter wore Crocs for the first time last week at softball practice. Okay. I've never worn a Croc. We don't own Crocs. We're not gonna buy Crocs.
No,
we just don't do it. They ain't going in 4-wheel drive. There is no sport mode. We got Adidas slides.
See, that's some Yankee shit right there. That's
some
fucking
Yankee shit.
We're looking for
a new club to fish now after that.
I can give you some places that pay like $200.
You probably wear socks with those slides too, don't you?
No, so I really try not to. That bothers me, like from a I don't want to say fashion, but like a look. My wife does that, and I'm like, babe, what are you doing? Take the socks off.
He has an image to maintain.
I did just pick up the Hey Dudes, but go ahead. What's next, shotgunner?
All right, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Nah.
Okay. Would you rather spend more on a rod or a reel? Where are you putting the money?
I can't think.
No.
Really fast. What would it be? Come on, Vinny.
Shit.
Let's go.
I'll just say real, but oh my God, there's so much to that answer.
All right,
we
now I
we
need
know
to
that, but that's why we know that. We know that there's a lot. I did a podcast with Armand on Bass, Kayak, and beers about it. But we asked that question because we want to know what the hell, if you had $1,000 to spend, rod or reel.
That's hard. I'll just say real because I said it, but man, that's a tough one.
There we go.
Yeah.
It is.
All right. Now picture it. You're on the lake of your choice. Maybe you're happy, you're fun fishing. Maybe you're not fun fishing. Maybe you're tournament fishing. But you're having a grand old time, but you only got 3 hours out there. Are you going to want to catch 5 2-pounders or 1 7-pounder?
You got to fix your question. I need to know if I'm tournament fishing.
No, too bad.
No,
you're
fishing.
You're 3
fishing.
hours.
You're fishing.
1 fish. You
3 hours.
5
You're fishing.
2-pounders or 1 7.
That's so stupid. I'll take a 7.
Okay.
But I don't. Oh God, I don't like that question.
I didn't make that one. That one's the Babcast, not Tori.
Well,
what the fuck is the Babcast?
It's what I call you guys. Bass and Brews. Bab. B-A-B.
Oh my.
Babcast.
No, but like really though, because like it matters. If tournament day, I don't want just one fish. I don't ever fish for the big bass plaque. If I get it, I get it. I don't ever fish for it. So if it's tournament day, I want my 5 2-pounders because now I got 90 inches. Yep. So that's a loaded one.
Yeah, that one gets everybody.
Yeah,
everybody gets tripped up on that one.
The rods and reel one's loaded too, but we can have that conversation another time.
All right. I feel like I know your answer on this one, so I'm curious if I'm going to get it right because I have a prediction. Wacky Rig or Texas Rig?
Oh, 100% Wacky Rig.
All right, how to feeling?
You want a story?
Yes.
Yep.
You ready for this? Chris Goodwin and Matt Sandifer will tell you I don't ever throw a Texas rig. And both of them will tell you they have told me 10 million times to throw a Texas rig. Is he over there shaking his head like, how did I ever lose
he's
this
just
dude?
looking interested. We're taking notes.
So I never throw, never. Check it out, never, right? So we go to Wisconsin. Now, I had to check my stuff for Wisconsin. I really couldn't bring much. I had to bring 5 outfits or whatever it was. I packed 8 reels. They're the only gear I brought, and I borrowed the rods. I packed and checked my reels, and I packed 2 tackle boxes. Do you know what I didn't have in any of those tackle boxes intentionally? Was worm hooks and weights, because I don't Texas rig. So we're out there and we're fishing, and Matt's catching them on his Texas rig. And I'm catching them a little bit on what I'm doing. And my bite dies. He's still catching them, but they're shorts. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, I'm flipping a creature. And I was like, all right, I'll throw a shaky head. I throw a shaky head out there. I can't get bit. Hour later, I can't get bit. He's still catching bites. He's getting fish. I'm like, dude, it really can't be a difference. I put it out there. He puts it out there. He sets the hook. I'm like, dude, come give me a hook. The only reason I'm going to the TOC is because Matt gave me 5 5-aught hooks and 5 3/8-ounce weights, and I Texas rigged for the last 4 hours of Saturday, which I haven't done in years, just to get a limit. So no, I do not ever Texas rig, and I know it's a weakness of mine. That it's not really a weakness. I just don't do it. Like I need to do it more. Sorry. So next question.
No, that was a great story.
How many hooks and bullet weights did you order when you got home to rig up Texas rigs?
No. The stupid shit is I have it all. I have it all.
I have it. I just don't use it.
I probably spent $100 plus on TKO tungsten at the beginning of the year. The box is loaded. I got it, dude. I got it. I got this size. I got that size. I got gray. I got black. I got punching weights. I got worm weight. I got it all. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-hour hooks. It just never goes in the water. Never. Never.
Fuck that $200. Fuck that $200. This shit ain't worth it.
The next time we do a podcast, if I ever get the invite back, we'll do it in front of my tackle wall. So instead of looking at this nonsense, everybody could look at all the stuff that's hanging out.
It could be like a big giveaway. You can start raffling stuff off.
I probably could give so much away.
We need to do that one. We're going to do that one in-house, and I'm going to come. And I'm going to just, every time we talk about a lure or something, I'm just going to pull one off and put it in my pocket You know.
Then we can try it. We can look at your tips, and me and Paul will go out and test it and see if it actually works.
I'll tell you, man. It's like I am. Well, I don't know. I won't say what type of fisherman I am in case you got more questions about this kind of stuff. But I don't know what you're gonna ask. But Wacky Rig, go next.
Okay, next question, and I already know the answer on this one. So prove my prediction correct. Slow jams or hype music?
Oh, there ain't no slow jams happening.
I look like a slow jam. If you would have said slow jams, I would have thrown my hat. I would have found something on my tackle wall behind me to throw. I mean, I probably would have woke my children up screaming bullshit because their rooms are above the garage where I do this podcast, and my daughter runs into our bedroom some nights going, I'm hearing voices because I'm screaming at somebody answering a question wrong.
Do you know who I'm like really, really feeling lately? And like the more I listen to him, I love him. Is Hardy. Hardy. Like,
oh yeah.
I
like him. My husband does not.
I'm a huge Hardy fan. Hardy sold out. Brenneman, Mr. Hooksets. Look up Hardy Sold Out and let me know if you like that song.
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
It's the rednecker guy. You might think you're redneck, but I'm rednecker than you.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard of that. Is it?
Right,
is it Ginger Billy? Is that Ginger Billy?
No, it's a freaking country music artist.
Oh yeah, I
want to see if that song is new.
Is he as good as Colt Ford?
So I love Colt Ford. Colt Ford is actually how I got into country music. I listened to Colt Ford because of David Golding. He got me into Colt Ford.
Oh, Pawpaw.
Yep, which transferred me over to Brantley Gilbert, which opened up this whole country realm. You guys probably don't know this, but I am still to this day, I listen to like hard hip hop, like hip hop.
Well, we know that. We've heard the music that you made my husband put on the videos.
Exactly. So,
so you listen to this thing Clown Posse in that hard hip hop that I
used to listen to ICP back in the day, but
me too. I wasn't no juggalo, but I listened to their shit.
Yeah. So I love Tom McDonald now, and I know that's probably a lot of people probably don't even know who that is, but I'm a big Tom McDonald fan. Listen to it. You might like it, Tori.
I'll give it a go. Normally, I like the really depressing stuff that makes you want to go outside and never come back in.
It's not country. It's a rapper. It's a white rapper.
Oh wait, I know who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about. We can't go further. We'll break the rules.
That's it. That's why I stopped.
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. All right, we're going to take a break from the Babcast questions. I got my questions.
Let's get it.
All right, so the first two are mine. Question 1.
I'm listening.
Rest of your life, are you only catching little tiny 10-inch or less dink bass or super big giant cats?
Catfish?
Yeah.
No.
Either baby bass or giant cats.
Baby bass.
All right, baby bass. All right. If you had to
I've never heard this one, so I'm answering these two. I've never heard these. I'm answering two. Fuck a catfish.
I asked this question on my podcast.
Fuck a catfish. I will catch the smallest bass in the lake before I catch a 20-pound catfish.
You made it sound like you loved catfish whenever I was on the catfish run.
Every time I catch catfish,
I just wanted you to feel good. But if I ever were to post my fishing videos that'll record every time I go out with 2 cameras, if I were to ever post them, when I catch a catfish, if I don't bleep out shit, but if I did, it would be minutes of nothing but. I hate the. Hey, at the state championship at Baden, 10-pound catfish on a drop shot. I thought I had something. 10 pounds. It comes up flip-flopping around. Won't fit in the fucking net. Mother, sorry ass slimy bastard.
I hate them, but I love them.
I fucking hate them. I don't want nothing to do with them.
But you know, the catfish TikToks, they get the most views and they give me more followers.
Ain't nobody got time for no catfish.
Ain't nobody got time for the whiskers.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next Tori question. You have to choose one. Which one do you think's better to have on your kayak? Power pole or your Mega Live?
Mega Live all day.
Okay. All right.
I don't have to choose. I got them both.
I got the girls' questions.
Did you hear me? Go ahead.
I did.
I said I don't got to choose. I got them both.
But you can only have one. One's dead to you.
Power pole, I'll give a huge shout out to power pole. Power pole in the river is money. Like, if you fish moving water like I fish moving water, power pole is phenomenal. If you are an extreme shallow fisherman like a lot of our guys are, money. Me, I'm not afraid to be offshore. I like deeper points. I like deeper docks. So I don't use the power pole in those situations. Now, Mega Live, I'm not saying I'm good with it, but man, it could be fun.
All right, Shelly, our dear sweet Shells, she
girl.
asks, because it's Halloween time, just about. I don't know if you do the Halloween or not.
Yeah.
Okay, not everybody does. Sorry, that might have broke a rule too.
That's a rule right there. Even thinking about it, it's a rule breaker.
All right, so zombies or vampires?
Just in general?
In general, or maybe if you had to fall in love, because I'm a romantic, is it a zombie or vampire, or would you rather watch a zombie movie, a vampire movie?
We'll go zombie simply because I haven't watched a vampire movie ever, probably since I'm like 5. So zombies.
Look,
all right, and then
give me vampires
question.
all day long. True Blood, Vampire Diaries. Look, I watched them all.
Never seen them.
What about the Twilights? Did you get into the Twilights?
Never seen them. What about the Dahmer series, though? So let me tell you about the Dahmer series.
No, right now, I'm watching Winx. Something I can't remember. Fuck it. Go ahead, Tori.
Is it the one about the fairies?
What?
Yes.
The one about the fairies?
Oh,
okay.
It's the Winx saga. Something the Winx saga. It's on Netflix. Anyway,
dude, if it's got saga behind it.
All right, Amanda's question. It's similar to my question, but she hasn't heard this part of the podcast, so she really wasn't sure what to do. She says, would you rather have a lifetime of catching bluegills, little nibblers, or you only catch one more bass for the rest of your life? I didn't write the question. It was Amanda.
That's a fucked up question.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if I choose bass, I can't. That's a lifetime.
You're done.
Tori,
I gotta go bluegill.
Tori, you should have vetted these questions before you ask them.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm not the nicest person.
This is
I'm
the
very
portion
mean.
This is the portion of the podcast where
I give a lot of angry faces. I'm not nice, and so this is me being nice and asking her question.
I'm putting a rally cap on. There
is a time for going fishing and catching 30 dinks. There is a time for going fishing with one bite in mind. I've not been able to live those times very often because I've been competing for so long. So when I do fish in the future, there are times where those will exist. One of those lakes I go to every year, I don't care what size they are. I just love to catch them. But then if I go on day 1 and I just catch them, my mindset for day 2 changes and I go to whack a big one. And so there are times those questions make sense, but the catfish and the bluegill thing,
the catfish, it was a catfish or a baby dink. Okay?
I'm a bass guy.
Amanda's question was bluegill forever or only one bass for the rest of your life?
Yeah, no. Gotta go, I guess.
I don't think I could choose the answer on that one.
Yeah, that's tough.
All right. I won't ask Amanda for her input again. Shelly's question was better. All right. Paul, can I ask the last question, the big question?
Yes, but we have a couple that I want to ask
the big one, the one that you didn't put in there. The make it or break it. You're either going to live or die by your answers question.
Yes, you can ask it, but there's a couple more that I left out. Oh, Lord. Does. Hold on. No. We're not there yet. There's no. Tori, there are 3 more questions that we always ask that I wanted to ask, so I didn't send them to you.
Fine.
See, you thought you had them memorized. I told you at the beginning of the show, you can have a memorized one. It comes down to starting to ask them on the show, you're going to fucking forget. That's why I pull out my phone after 80 episodes. All right, Vinny, I've got 3 more that she did not ask that we always ask. Uh-oh.
Hold on. My world is walking in.
Hi, Izzy.
What's up, homie?
Remember me?
Hi.
Remember Tori? That weird guy up there? He runs this podcast. I don't really know why they still want to talk to me, but they keep talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go
fishing? We need better
too?
friends. That's why.
You like fishing? What's your biggest bass?
2 pounds?
About 2 pounds. You lost a couple
Awesome,
of
girl.
2 pounds? Heck, what'd you catch it on?
I don't know. Ned rig?
Yeah.
Wacky rig? It was either a Ned or a Wacky.
I'm
I
gonna go
got you.
Ned.
Nice.
What's your favorite
He
lake?
looks like a Ned girl.
Say it again. What's your favorite lake?
Like Joe Cassie.
Oh, nice. We can catch some smallies there, right?
Yeah.
we
Here,
go.
Mr. Smallmouth. Give me a kiss. Mwah. Love you. You going to sleep?
Good night, sweet
You want
girl.
mommy?
Night.
Love you, buddy.
Bye.
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 And that's why you can walk away from it.
Well, my kids will come in here too and give it. They like to be on camera and say the little thing. But yeah, that's right. I can understand it, man. She's getting to that age where, especially with travel ball, that's a year round thing now. It ain't like when we played ball. All right.
Go ahead.
Do you eat largemouth bass?
I did forget that question. Oh my goodness, you're right, Paul.
I've never eaten a bass.
Oh,
Wow.
that's okay. Me neither.
Disappointing. It's disappointing. They're delicious.
Vinny.
They're delicious. It's
Never once.
healthier for the lake to keep your 5 and eat them bastards. There's studies that have been done that show the fish that were caught and released, their offspring bit less than the ones that were caught and ate. Facts.
But we've done the harvest event on the little bass before.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
that's cool as shit. We're running out of time. That is cool as shit. Real quick, within 1 minute, Vinny. Within 1 minute, Vinny, tell us about the harvest event, real quick, because that's cool as shit.
So we were, the theory was to try to make Norman better and to remove a lot of the baby spotted bass and put the F1s in at the same time. So, I mean, we got rid of, a ton of under 16-inch spotted bass, and I didn't want to just kill them. So we donated them to the Raptor Center. We fed the birds, the eagles, the raptors, and it was fun. I'm not huge on killing fish. I do understand taking your 5 is going to help everything in the long run. But yeah, we haven't done it again. I'm not in a huge mood to do it again. I don't like seeing all that dead for no reason. And I know we did feed the birds, but Lake Norman is doing well. So I think what the community did was helping. I will say that.
Yeah. Now y'all just got to fix Wiley. All right. Have you ever eaten beaver?
Oh, no. I got to be careful.
It's delicious.
Next
in the
question.
wintertime, find you a trapper and we'll get some. It's delicious. Cook it like you would a pig, pulled pork, barbecue. Oh my God, it's so good. The real beaver, Vinny, you dirty
Get Chad
ass.
Walden to barbecue beaver for us next year at Murray.
There we go. But I guarantee you there is somebody in Queen City that traps beaver that can get one to cook and eat. I guarantee there's got to be.
We'll just get Dustin. We'll get Hand Jobs Adventure.
Yes,
oh, man.
Yes, Hand Jobs does it.
This took a damn turn at the 2-hour mark, didn't it? Like, beaver and Hand Jobs. All right. 2-hour mark is where it goes down. Jesus, I could have got it. Nobody sent me an email that at 10 o'clock it was going to pop off. I didn't have a warning. No text message. 10 o'clock.
This is why we wanted to end this shit early, but Tori you kept talking. All right, this is my last question, and then Tori has the most important question you'll probably answer in your entire life unless you're going for like a $500,000 job interview. But this one, Alex Rudd, overrated or underrated?
I don't even know who that is.
Get out. Leave.
Who is it?
I don't want you to leave, but it's funny. He's a big YouTuber, does a podcast, fishing guy.
I'll just tell you I've never listened to one podcast and I don't have time for YouTube.
But how you not know who the Rudster is?
I've never heard of it.
Well, look, we have had people that have told us the only reason I know who that is from this podcast. I'm like,
that's how I knew who he was. But now I love
that
him.
shit makes my heart. Yeah, that shit makes my heart feel good because we have like 8 listeners.
I like one YouTuber.
Who?
Answer
with Ryan.
What? That's right.
That's it.
All right, you won the podcast.
That's it. over.
Said he
I
likes
like my
playing
boy.
for
That's it.
Upsets with Ryan.
That's it. I don't even know who this. What does he talk about? This Alex Rudd dude. He ain't talking about me because he hasn't brought me on his channel. Who is he?
No, but Alex Rudd is great. He's got a big
Fishing.
beard. He
Yeah,
knows
he's
who I
funny.
am. That's what matters.
Look, guys, I'll be. Like honestly, like for real, like I don't really watch TV other than NFL football. I've never listened to one.
So you're a Jets fan.
Unfortunately, I'm a Jets fan.
I knew it. I could see it in your eyes. I could see the sadness.
Yeah,
I could see the sadness dripping from your nose.
Yeah, that's pain. That's what that is. That's pain. I've never listened to like a Joe Rogan podcast. I like music. So when I do, and I'm not on the phone, I'm listening to music on my drives. I do got a group of buddies that when I take these long drives, they call me and they're like, "Hey man, I'm gonna kill this hour. Let's catch up." Chad Walden calls me.
I'm gonna start doing that. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, I got a 12.5-hour drive to Texas. Holla at your boy. But
shit.
I just
be careful what you wish for.
Man. And when I'm home, I got little one.
Vinny, you don't have to give us a reason why you don't look at the social media. We don't give a shit. All you had to do is answer the question. And that's fine. You said he's overrated. That's all I heard.
Oh, is that what you heard?
Yes. That's all I heard.
You might have heard what you wanted.
All right, Tori.
Yeah.
Vinny, listen to Tori. I hope. All right, Vinny, listen to Tori.
Let me set it up. I've listened to you enough, Paul.
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
All right, Vinny. As us anglers, we like to eat sandwiches. So, what are your 3 top sandwich proteins? Picture yourself. You got a sandwich. What 3 proteins?
No, you just asked a question, Tori. Don't go. You asked it perfectly. Don't elaborate. All right.
3 top sandwich proteins and go.
Does it have to be on the water?
No, you can eat it anywhere.
No, just top 3 sandwich proteins.
Turkey, chicken, and bacon.
Okay.
You can't not have
safe.
bacon.
All safe answers. All safe answers.
Nobody's gonna come for you tonight after those answers.
No. You answered. Nothing extravagant or crazy that we need to talk about. But you didn't say cheese. And
I like mozzarella.
You didn't say. Yeah, but you don't eat a fucking mozzarella sandwich, do you?
But
yes, you do with tomatoes.
Let me tell you, you want Mary, my great wife that's in there. Well, I told her to pop on tonight, but she's probably like, "What the hell are you still doing?" She will eat a sandwich every day of the week. Me, I hate sandwiches, but I've come to realize in my older age, I hate cold sandwiches. I could eat like a Philly cheese or like a chicken bacon ranch or like a grilled cheese, but I've realized I want it to be hot. I want a warm sandwich, melted cheese.
That's probably a northern thing though, right? Because y'all are eating hot sandwiches.
Yeah,
I live in the South. I want a hot sandwich.
You know what I had?
I'm not saying I don't want one.
What I have? Jersey Mike's for the first time like 6 months ago. For the first time ever. And I was like, "Oh, it's pretty good. It's warm." And my wife got some like cold fucking turkey sandwich. And I was like, "What? No, like it's good. Like they cooked it. I want it cooked on bread. That's what I want."
I ain't no sushi. I ain't eating no damn sushi sandwich.
That fucking cold cut on a bread.
It's cold. Well, you didn't say. We could argue about protein and cheese, even though I do have that argument with my 8-year-old son at least 4 times a day. When he says, "Can I have a snack?" I says, "Yes, it has to be healthy." And so we go, I get ready mentally so I don't get upset. He starts going through the candy and the crackers and the Pop-Tarts and the shit. And then I'm like, no. And he goes to cheese. I'm like, boy, that ain't a protein. Yes, it is. So you didn't say cheese. You also didn't say spinach. The greatest answer we have ever had on this was spinach.
What?
A spinach sandwich. That was our good friend Bailey Egbert from the Serious Angler podcast. And you probably know who Bailey is through the Hobies.
I know the name.
Yeah. He's
So if you ever see him, throw spinach at him.
I don't know if he's in the top 50. I don't know if he's on the list.
Yeah, he's won like 2 or 3 events this year.
No.
From
Take a bag of
from New
spinach to
York.
the COC.
Yeah, he lives in Buffalo. He won he's in the top 10 for sure, Bailey.
Wow.
You'll see him down there at the
I
TOC.
can say spinach is not ever going to be on a list of anything.
Look, I will put it on a sandwich that has a meat on it, but I ain't eating no spinach sandwich. Now, I did grow up eating mayonnaise sandwiches, a piece of bread, 2 inches of mayonnaise, another piece of bread, and just eat it like a sandwich.
Now, I love mayonnaise on my sandwiches, but like I've never had a mayonnaise sandwich, and I know for damn sure that's a Southern thing.
So, are you eating Miracle Whip or are you eating real mayonnaise?
I don't eat Miracle Whip.
Okay, good.
You
That's
eat
a salad
Dukes
dressing.
then?
Not Dukes.
Oh.
Hellman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We'll
But
let that slide.
But again, you're not coming to my house and seeing me making a sandwich, period. A peanut butter and jelly. So you're just not like, I'm not gonna be like, babe, what's for dinner tonight? I'm making sandwiches. The fuck out of here. No. Peanut butter and jelly Saturday on the water because it'll keep me alive, right? It's got a little bit of sugar, got a little bit of peanut energy. We're gonna be all right. Gonna fill you up. That's it, dude. Otherwise, I'll grab a Lunchable and eat that on the water.
Ugh. I don't eat when I'm fishing.
Yeah, so here's the issue that you run into on the water. You don't have time to eat because you don't have a limit. Or if you have a limit, you don't have time to eat because you got to cull out that last one. So there is just never time to eat. So
I do not eat, but I have practiced it. I fast a lot, so I'm good with that.
Yeah.
All right. Look, we have gone way over the time limit that we set for ourselves. Tori was sole job here was to keep us on track. She royal fucked that up. But
what am I supposed to do? Cut off the commish?
Sounds like that was your job.
Yes.
But
yes.
he
You
never
know him better than
talks.
I do.
He got going.
Look,
you just let it get
I'm just kidding. There you go.
No,
that coffee
fun.
kicked in. That coffee kicked in at about 41 minutes.
You noticed.
You could tell. So look, we're at the end of the podcast, Vinny. You've already shouted out some of your sponsors. Shout out sponsors, friends, family, anybody that helps you with fishing and that has helped Queen City.
Wait a minute.
Just anybody. Okay.
Before he starts, I just want you to know, Vinny, that I think like the second or third person that I thanked before I even thanked myself and gave a shout out to myself was you. So keep that in mind whenever you're thinking of the order in which you're going to call out my name.
Yes, she thanked herself, Vinny. But you before herself, but yes.
Do I have to thank myself?
That was after 2 cans of wine.
Just 2?
Yeah.
3. She was on that third can at the
3.
end of that podcast. You had something else to drink after the second one for sure. All right, Vinny,
man.
holler at your sponsors and all the folks.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with you all for bringing me on and let me just chill. I don't get a chance to chill too much, but thanks for having me. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I was nervous before tonight. I'm not gonna lie. But I will come back anytime you ask me to come back, if ever.
People nervous to come on this shitty podcast. I mean, geez.
I know. I guess if I fuck up on
look
one,
at
people are
me.
going to watch it anyway, so it'll be all right.
That's right. That's right. And 3 of them we have to pay, so they probably just have it on the volume all the way down.
But my wife, obviously, for letting me do what we've done here with Queen City and let me run all over the country trying to compete still in my little bit of free time. And obviously all the anglers with Queen City, thank you all for being here. And I do have some personal sponsors who sponsor me throughout the year. Native Watercraft, always making sure I'm in a boat that's up to date. And if I ever need parts, they show up. Burley Pro for always sending me the brand new product I need. Dakota Lithium for always keeping me powered on the water. Carolina Custom Rods, those are almost all the rods I throw are Carolina Customs. Those are I really hope I'm not forgetting somebody. Oh, those are my personal sponsors. I got to make sure, man. And then I'm not going to run through the whole list of sponsors for Queen City. I touched on a few already. The big expansion is the big news for 2023, and that's Native Watercraft, Big Adventures, Boondocks, Obviously, Rock Outdoors is a big part of what we're doing. And then every other sponsor that's on the banner that I know I will screw up if I try to go through you all. So I love you all. This is a great relationship we have, and I appreciate you all. I got to give a shout out to AJ with the Hobie series. We mentioned that series a ton tonight. That is the only series I get to participate in, and it's nice. I miss the days of being able to show up and just go fishing. Nobody's asking me what time the identifier comes out and what ruler I can use, and it's nice to just show up, go fishing, suck, and go home. So, shout out to him and the great series they have going over there at Hobie, giving guys all over the country an outlet and a way to compete on a very, very high level. Some would say the pro level. I get that question, are you a professional fisherman? Because people who are outside of our little world, they see the logos and they see this and they see that. And I tell them, no, I'm not a professional, but I think I fish on the professional circuit. And they're like,
semi-professional.
Yeah, they're like, what the hell does that mean? You're not a professional, but you fish on the professional circuit. And then I got to go into this whole explanation of, well, I'm fishing with people who are professionals. Like, I don't really even know what Hobies consider themselves, but I think Hobie Bass Open Series is the professional circuit. So yeah, I fish on that, and it's fun and exciting, and it's been fun for the 2.5 years I've been able to give it a run, and we'll just see what the future holds, and maybe I'll come back on next year and have to thank a whole new batch of people when I win the Bassmaster Classic in March and hold up the blue trophy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I've got one announcement to make with this. So Vinny reached out to me, it's been about 3 months ago now, about partnering with Queen City to do some tournament recap podcasts with their folks. And Alex and I and Vinny and talked, and we are going to do that. We're not going to start it till Alex gets back and gets settled in. So we might get an episode out for the TOC later in the year. I'm not sure, but starting next year, definitely it's going to be in addition to our every week podcast. It is not going to be 2.5 hours long. We're going to keep it at that 45 minutes to an hour, but it's not going to be your typical recap of that. We're going to have, we might have one person on, we might have 2 or 3 people on, but we're going to recap that tournament. Small fish, because they do a small fish pot, big fish, first person out of the money, the last, whoever we can get on from that tournament to talk about that and to highlight some of the Queen City anglers and what they're doing around there. When Vinny reached out to us, we specifically didn't ever go into the tournament side of it because there's a ton of podcasts about that. But when he reached out and it being local, plus a lot of these tournament anglers in Queen City fish nationally, we thought it was a good opportunity for us to maybe try out doing something like that with the Bass and Bruce spin to it. The campfire shooting the shit type conversation. So we are going to do that. We might be able to get an episode or 2 out at the end of the year, but we're definitely going to start it up when the season 2023 starts. So y'all be looking for that coming out soon. And Vinny, we appreciate that opportunity to do that. That's we're excited to do that.
Yeah,
Look,
I
y'all,
want to help you all get out there, and I want to help guys. What we say, get their shine on, man. I want guys to get their shine. I don't need the shine. I need the guy who is paying the entry fee, busting his behind to get the shine. So I think that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, Vinny had me on Sunday for a few minutes. I tried to get on more, but he was fighting that. I'm going to say he didn't want me on. He was fighting that damn StreamYard, the stupid StreamYard. But anyway, he had me on, and then he made a post for Bass and Brews through Queen City. And I don't get the dings on my phone, but when I go to Facebook, I get the notifications. I'm like, what the fuck? The hell is going on here? We got like 85 notifications for the Babcast, as Tori has labeled it tonight. The Babcast are all these new people, and I finally get a chance to scroll down and look and see. And you'd made a post, and then Mark Glendy, who's a past guest co-host and past guest, linked a bunch of stuff there. So we're excited for the opportunity to work with y'all on that. Y'all be looking on what's coming out with that. this has been Bass and Brews. Vinny, thank you for coming on, dude, sharing your story. For folks looking to start or folks that are already TD and trails, there's some information in here that would be good. I'm sure Vinny, and you tell me no or yes, but Vinny would probably be open to contact him for ideas and stuff like that. They are an anomaly, but they're a good goal to shoot for. And if you're just halfway there, your club is going to be successful and people are going to have fun at it. That's the biggest thing. Tori, thank you for co-hosting.
It was amazing.
This was awesome.
At the time of my life.
Yep. Your sole job was to keep us, in the time frame. You fucked that up, but I tell you what, it's okay. It's okay. It was fun having you on. This was fun. This was awesome. Look, guys, this is Bass and Brews podcast. Check out Hookset Hoodlums. This will be number 80, and Alex is back soon.
Yes.
So I cannot wait. Thank goodness. So I don't have to do
you,
all
Alex.
the shit by myself. I do too. Jeez, I might take a damn hiatus when he gets back to make him do all the shit. No, I'm just kidding. But thank y'all for listening. We really do appreciate the support. All the Facebook likes, stars, whatever. Do all that bullshit. I don't care if you do it or not. We enjoy you listening here. We enjoy the feedback. Y'all have a good night. This is Bass and Brews podcast. Y'all hang out a minute before you sign off there, Vinny and Tori. Hey-oh!